And welcome everyone to this week's episode of our Good Society game upon the Hexhamshire Moors. It's our penultimate episode, which means next week is the finale, so good golly, Miss Molly,
She sure likes to bone.
Oh my goodness.
That's how the song goes. No, I'm just quoting the song. That wasn't me.
I don't know.
That was Little Richard.
I think it's all you. What's a little Richard code for, Trooper? See, come on, you can't. Anyways, we're gonna go around.
I just feel like I got insulted in an epic way.
And we're
like an
gonna
epic
say
burn.
who we are and who we're playing. I will start with myself. I am Lindy, Laughlove Lindy. I have a cozy blanket, and I will be playing Lady Violet Brassleton, who is unknowingly suffering from a case of mistaken identity thus far this evening at this party, and I'm sure it'll all be fine and not result in an assassination. Someone who I'm hoping also does not get assassinated is Yutsai. Yutsai, how are you tonight?
I am a little tired from work, but I think that should be relatable. Hello, I'm Yutsai. I'm playing, oh goodness, the tiredness is kicking in. Charles Way, who is currently trying to figure out how to do this whole dating thing without such modern conveniences such as Tinder or Bumble and such and such.
Yeah, it's fine. Dating this time. It's
yes,
great.
just read your favorite historical romance novel and copy every single tactic in the book.
Yes, that's what they're there for.
Yes, nothing builds a stronger foundation of love than lying to their face.
Yeah. Someone who knows all about strong foundations of love and not lying to people's faces is Nuggetosaurus. How are you?
Wait, Nugget. This is really important.
Yes.
Have you ever played a character who faked your death and lied to your fiance or partner about it?
You know, I can't say I have.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's not something I've done before.
That makes 3 of us in this room.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nuggetosaurus. I'm playing Harriet Ultringham, who is very concerned for her safety and possibly her best friend's safety. So hopefully nobody gets, assassinated. We'll see what happens, I guess.
We'll see what happens, I guess, is Wandering DM's tagline. Simon, how are you? I don't know. Should be, if it's not already.
I'll take it. It's close to my tagline, yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. I'm going to be playing another fake identity for my character today.
Yep.
As I've spent more time being someone else than being Roland. Being Roland Brazelton. Here's the title of a movie starring John Malkovich. But yeah, I'll be playing Roland Brazelton, who needs to actually himself play Mr. Chumley.
Wonderful.
Until Mr. Chumley dies.
Again. Someone who's played Mr. Chumley, who has died more than once, would be our facilitator for this evening. Trooper, how are you?
First off, Simon, you're not allowed to say things that are that hilarious before my intro. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna, what are you doing? Hi, I'm Trooper SJP, and I am your facilitator for this evening. And let me see. I am very excited to be here, and I am playing the connection characters and following Geek and Sundry for these lovely people. And Lindy, did you introduce yourself?
Yes, I always start with myself.
Oh, I see.
I'm already talking.
Fair. That's fair. We are in the
cycle.
2, 3, 4, fourth. We're at the second half of our 4th cycle right now. And we are in 1821, and we are in the second half. We are in the middle of our second novel phase, which is a dance and a banquet at the former Chumley residence, which has been bought up by one Rekha Chandra, who is a businesswoman who has sort of had some, Harriet gave her and Charles lessons in how to be a good business person way back in their youth. I imagine this must have been in France, and because that's where y'all were hanging out. And then you all went your all separate ways, and she has been working on business plans in the meantime, which has brought her to Barden Mill. And with joy, it turns out that Charles Way is also in Barden Mill, which she was not previously completely aware of. And she went through a whole process of working to get revenge on the hated Chumley family, who murdered her dad and then caused her mother to die of sorrow. That happens, you know, you waste away. It's a thing that happens back in the 19th century. People die of heartbreak all the time. We're not quite certain exactly medically how that works, but it did.
It actually is a medical thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it has happened, and I don't really know what does it. Do you know what I mean? But people have
Stress.
probably stress, you know, probably. So let us recap where we are at this moment. It is 1821. We have yet to have the coronation of King George. He is now king, but he has not been crowned.
It's familiar.
Yeah. And his wife, he hates, but the population loves because she is like for the people. He has had multiple affairs and drinks a lot and is a bit of a lout. He was secretly married to someone. He got married in 1895. The woman that he loves more than anything, who he could not marry because she's Catholic and his dad did not give him permission, so it's not a valid marriage. And why am I telling you that? Who knows? So as it turns out, or maybe there are reasons, I don't know. Now, we have in this town of Barden Mill, a sort of in the north of England, in Hexhamshire, near Hexham, which is a town that is, you know, surrounded by coal mines, and there's a granite mine here, a granite quarry in Barden Mill, and it's a place where there are some very poor people who are the salt of the earth, and some very, very rich people. It is sort of very old. Hadrian's Wall, the Roman wall, is not too far. And you have some very important families who live in this place. One of the most important one would be the Brazeltons, a sort of a matrilineal countyship. And our Lady Violet Brazelton, who started off as a somewhat irresponsible daughter, her father was killed, and she got married to an old guy who also died. It's a thing in this place.
They were all above the age of 55.
60. Yeah. If you get over 55, it's kind of not great for you. But their family is, you know, one of the sort of the important family in this place, the most important one. And while it is a matrilineal line, and the lady of the family is the countess who runs things, her consort, her husband, has tended to be the Lord Sheriff of this area, and you know, have a bit sort of important sort of figure that way. Now, our Violet fell in love with a French actor.
Yeah, it happens.
Not appropriate, really, especially during the Napoleonic Wars. Very inappropriate.
Yeah.
She brought this French actor to her home that she was secretly engaged to, where he sort of stayed there, our good Roland. Idealistic, perhaps a little bit of a plagiarist, a little sketchy in his own way, but deeply in love. Brought him there to sort of bring art, French art, to Barden Mill. A little bit of mysteriousness there while we were there. Now they have had their own trials and tribulations, but there are other trials and tribulations for those who've not been here this entire time, and that being that there is a rival family. Perhaps it's not the children who are rivaled, although a little bit. The Chumleys. The Chumleys are not nobility or aristocrats. They just have a lot of money through shipping and trade. But this family shamed? When the father, the patriarch of that family, sunk a ship where most of the people who worked on that ship were from the town of Barden Mill, killing them all, And as it turned out, put out life insurance policies on the people of Barden Mill. And then, it's a lot of money, never paid the restitution for it because it was just lost. He was arrested by Violet's father, as it turns out, put in prison, all of his stuff seized by Violet's father, and he died in prison. Now, turns out Violet's father also had an affair with his wife, and his son, Charles, who's over here, it turns out was not his son after all. There was some bad blood between the families, quite a lot of bad blood. Also, there was some not so great blood between the eldest of the Chumleys, our good dear Hattie, and her former best friend Violet, because she was a little upset about the fact that Violet sold her house to some actors and was like, what the hell? Like, I'm gone. And what do you do? Like, on the anniversary of what is that? Right. So there is some sort of tension between these two families, perhaps some even in the past. But Charles and Hattie, who had to flee and go to Paris, right, because they were living in shame, where Charles had a brief affair with Roland, and they have a very complicated ex-lover history. They come back, and everyone is here in this town. And we see as Violet and Hattie repair their relationship, even though there are moments when maybe Violet was trying to murder and poison Hattie, but it turns out it wasn't the case. Turns out that wasn't true. It was dead Father Trumley, who was not dead at all, but was
trying
lurking.
to poison me. And
Yes, was trying to poison you.
Yes.
Yeah. Why did he stick around so long? Well, probably because all of the money that he had hidden away was taken by Roland, so that Roland could go and fake his death and make a brand new identity and come back as an American captain so that he could woo our dear Violet, but she was already married at the time, sadly. But Roland killed her husband, so it was fine. And there was a trial, but now they're married. Now, Charles came in tow with a wife and a daughter, and it was a bit of a rake, was not particularly interested in being responsible. But, he sort of grew a little bit. He was feeling the influence of his dead father. Wasn't quite certain if he was seeing ghosts or what. There was quite a bit of going on there, but he has over time grown. There was a lot of pressure put on him by his father to get married and have kids within a year or he'd lose everything. But it all seemed to work out in some kind of a way because his father's dead and cannot keep writing fake old wills, new old wills. But I mean, it's very convenient. You can, oh, look, there's a new version of my will that I wrote before I died yesterday. And, but he has learned, our Charles, a couple of things. He learned that Papa Chumley, besides actually,
not being his papa,
and also being alive the entire time and being a bad influence on his daughter, who, by the way, has fled. He learned that his father perhaps sank that ship in order to keep his older sister Harriet's identity secret, because he put out in society that she had died, although she hadn't. Now, our good Charles has been really sort of grappling with what kind of man he wants to be, who he wants to be, what kind of person he wants to be, revenge or not. And in this process, he decided that he was going to pursue Rekha Chandra. And now Rekha does not know that he's a Chumley, nor that Hattie's a Chumley, because neither one of those two use the family name. And she is here to get revenge on the Chumleys. And she had heard that Papa Chumley was still alive, and she was going to get revenge on him because he's clearly been trying to dodge that revenge. Now, Charles figured it would be important to not, he didn't know about the revenge part, but he figured it would be important that she not realize that he's a Chumley because he wants her to love him for who he is, And we left the last session at a banquet and a dance that she has thrown in the old Chumley estate, which she bought out from under the Chumleys through means. And she has confessed to Charles in a side room that she does love him. and that she's hoping that after she can get revenge on the hated Chumleys, that they can perhaps be together, and that she could never love anyone or anything connected to the Chumleys in any way because he killed her father and then caused, the death of her mother. And so she also revealed to him that she's planning on challenging old Lord Chumley to a duel right here to end this once and for all. Now, you're thinking, audience, but how can she challenge old Lord Chumley to a duel when he's dead? Yes, well, Roland is now in disguise as old Lord Chumley to sort of keep up the ruse. So that's not great.
He's a breastplate on, though.
Yeah.
He's got armor, at least.
Yeah. We've also learned that now that good old Hattie has made a name for herself outside of Barden's Mill by being a good humanitarian, other people have realized that she exists. And she got an invitation to the coronation. And it seems as if she might not actually be a Chumley either, that she might actually perhaps be the illegitimate daughter of the king, and therefore also his firstborn. His legitimate daughter has died, so there are currently no heirs. And seems like there might be people who want to assassinate the person who might destabilize the kingdom by being known, and they tasked Hattie's husband to do so. But we know there are other assassins, and in the process of the announcements, Violet was accidentally announced as a Harriet. So people think that Violet might be Harriet. Harriet's husband might have to kill Harriet. Charles is in love with somebody who hates everything to do with him and who's planning on killing old man Chumley, who is actually Roland, who's in love with Violet and married to him. So,
and there's a loose cannon around somewhere. Oh,
yes. There is Jennifer Chumley, who is kind of a badass poisoner because she learned those things from her grandfather, who liked to poison people and also murder people by sinking ships. And she's out for perhaps a little bit of revenge. And so we've got some loose cannons in the ball. We've got some fake identities. We have some
mistaken identities.
Mistaken identities.
Hidden
and fake
identities.
Hidden identities. And we have a ball.
An identity crisis.
And an identity crisis. And if I remember, we left off with people out front, milling and being announced and getting to dance. Music striking up. There's probably some food, finger foods and hors d'oeuvres. Probably a large table with a lot of food to sort of pick up. And we have Violet trying to find Reka to head off problems before it's too late. Unfortunately, she's in a side room with Charles as we speak. And we had a bit of a token off, if I remember correctly. You wanted to use one of your tags, if I remember correctly, to get her to listen to you. Is that correct?
Yes. I feel like things have gotten infinitely more complicated. Why is romance so hard these days?
She straight up came out and was like, yes, I love you, but those Chumleys though.
She doesn't know you're a Chumley.
Nope.
Right. I guess I could just live a lie.
You could. Like for the entire relationship, that'd be fine.
Yeah, she'd never find out.
I mean, that's what my dad did. He just lived a lie for the rest of his life.
He did.
How did that work out for him?
Do I want to be like my old man?
If I remember correctly, your inner conflict is about control versus letting go.
It is. It is.
I believe that is the case. So you wanted to use one of your tags, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes. I can't remember if I already got rid of it.
No.
Was when you wanted to. And we were going to have a conversation about that.
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to use one of my positive reputation tags so I could communicate the entire truth to her and have her, if not believe me, at least sit down for it so it's in her head and she knows the information I'm providing as at least a possible set of events.
Yes, I feel like all of us might want to have a conversation about that because you also have some negative reputation tags.
What? These are just words.
Heartless and erratic, as a matter of fact, are both negative
There's nothing
reputation
there.
tags. I saw them. I know you blacked it out, but I don't care. I see it. I see it. So that seems interesting to me. Oh, speaking of which, why don't I copy this link for our audience if
Oh,
you would like
yes.
to see our play document.
Sheets.
And this play document, by the way, is freely available. There's a blank version of this freely available to anyone who wants to be playing the Good Society online, just so you know, from the company, Story Brewers. So yes, I see, I understand this selflessness, but I also wonder about your erratic and heartless behavior that could be somewhat problematic, don't you think?
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
I'm just glad my daughter's not here to see this.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what's really funny about your daughter? I'm not saying because I don't play her, but I do know something about her. I know that when she ran away the first time, when she went and stayed with her grandfather, she stayed with him in the secret passageways between these two buildings. And many of these secret passageways lead to like peepholes, etc., all over the place. And so like it would be a trivial resolve token for
Oh, you know who has a bunch
Jennifer
of
to just
resolve tokens? Jennifer
hear all of
Chumley.
this. All of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
yeah.
that's always a possibility. If she
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
do
yeah.
that,
I think that is a very valid point. She does know all the secret passages in the house. Would you accept a resolve token from Jennifer to have her hear all this that you don't want her to hear?
It's embarrassing for Charles. Like, it's not like he's evil and he's being caught murdering someone, but it is embarrassing. However, this does add a lot of tension. So yeah, go for it. I will
There
take
you
that
go.
resolve token.
Take that resolve token from your daughter.
I can now stab 4 people in the scene. Be
Yep.
prepared, everyone.
I would also like to, with your permission, promote the invoke the erratic tag for Charles. Well, you'll still get your outcome. She'll, listen, might not believe you, but you might come off a little insane or a little crazy, as you're telling this story.
Never going to be shake off that reputation.
Well, now the erratic tag will go if you take it.
I mean, yeah, I like that. I mean, she must have heard some kind of rumors about
selfless and erratic. It's totally legitimate combination.
Yes.
You can be genuine while being inconsistent.
Right. And then maybe that's like, okay, like maybe you're not well. And what does this mean? Let's see how this goes. So she is standing. You can tell that she's got a bit of energy to her because she's planning on doing something quite bold and very unladylike. And you said you had something to tell her.
Yes. I have something to tell you.
Yes.
Reka, I need you to listen to me, and I need you to listen to me till the end.
Right.
I may seem a little erratic. I assure you, there's nothing to be concerned about.
And her eyes sort of just drift over to where the big Lizzie Borden shining hole in the wall had been.
Yeah.
That has been patched.
Mm-hmm.
I used to want to live an adventurous life, but honestly, it's just really complicated and makes decisions very hard. And I've made some very poor decisions in my time. Let me reintroduce myself to you, my dear. Hello. So wonderful to meet you.
It is wonderful to meet you.
I noticed you from afar. I remember when my sister introduced us, I was already quite taken with your nature, your charm, your merciless wit as you cut me down after our first introductions.
Well, you did have too much of a high opinion of yourself.
Still do. It's very hard to cut me down, Sives. But, as I said, let me introduce myself. Hello, my name is Charles Way. My father, Charles Chumley. My sister, Hattie. And my mother, recently passed. Well, not recently. I misspoke there. I am a Chumley. I took my mother's last name to honor her.
She takes a step back a little bit. What do you mean? You're a Chumley. You can't be.
Exactly as I said, this is my estate that you took from me. Quite brilliantly, I must say. Did not expect a bit of paperwork from the past when sorry, Lindy, what was your family name again?
Brazeltons.
Brazeltons. When the Brazeltons had acquired it in the earlier days, right after the incident.
I would like to invoke a rumor.
Oh no.
Not if I get there first. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I would like to invoke the rumor. One of the first rumors, Elder Charles Chumley VIII sank the ship on purpose, killing a number of townspeople.
And what is the effect of invoking this rumor?
This causes her, my friend. This will not make her well inclined to you.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable.
This will cause her to, she'll be upset, of course, and perhaps she will do something a little bit rash. I'm thinking this challenge is going to go definitely through the duel.
I'll go get my dad.
And but we'll see exactly who is in that duel, shall we? So she says, she looks at you and she says, you mean all of this time we were studying together in France, when you and I walked through the streets of Paris and you bought me that small croissant.
And I myself had a large baguette.
And all of that was money, blood money.
I can tell you, you spent time with Charles Way.
Did I?
And of course, Charles Way is who I was born as. Charles Way is who I still am. But as much as I want to deny where I've come from, what I've benefited from, I cannot.
You lied to me. And you misrepresented yourself.
Not necessarily.
Yes.
Do we bring out the worst aspects of ourselves when we meet people? Do we not try to put who we want to be out into the world first?
Who you are different.
I can see that there's little that will change your mind on this front.
When I moved in and took over this place, I found strange things here.
Wait, did you go to my room?
I did not know whose room it was.
Did you look under the bed?
I have to step outside.
Yeah.
This is what happened. No, I don't want to know. There were signs of violence and the smell of death in this place.
Oh, the axe.
No.
It's complicated.
No. You've made a fool of me. You must have been laughing about me behind my back the entire time.
Reika, never.
Making fun of me. You just... I imagine you must have known this whole time. You must have laughed behind my back.
I'd like to invoke my positive reputation tag as passionate to at least communicate the idea that whenever I interact with her, as I'm sure I portrayed Charles to be, I've
Mhm,
always been
mhm.
forthright. I've never been duplicitous, except for this weird smarmy romance game, which I will explain to her until and hopefully communicate until I develop feelings for you. I haven't felt the need to be duplicitous.
Oh, so you lie to those who you love.
No,
Charles.
I lie because I'm embarrassed. All right.
Walks out at this moment in the most ridiculous part because, right,
Mhm.
this will be the dramatics. She thinks that perhaps you were lying to her all along or something, but she's not sure now, but this is upsetting. And you can see that she started crying as she walks out. And as she walks out, let us take this globe back to the main room, where there are a number of people lurking about. And I believe that Hattie was wanting to tell Violet something really important about perhaps an assassin.
Oh, we talked outside before coming in.
But did you talk about the mistaken identity?
No. Well, I know that I'm not supposed to call her Hattie or Harriet. It's Lady Altrincham all night. She said there might be assassins. She did preface
Okay.
with that. So I wasn't seeking her out, and I don't think she was seeking me out right away. I think you were seeking Charles to tell him. I was seeking Roland, I think, maybe to tell him.
I've spoke very briefly to Charles
That's
before he
right.
left.
So it was
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Lord, not Lord,
Chumley.
Mr. Chumley, who we have
Yes,
to
Mr.
tell.
Chumley.
Don't call her Hattie. It's Lady Altrincham tonight.
And I'm going to note that Leslie, Lord Altrincham, is by your side, Hattie, in a slightly interesting way. He's not right by your side. He's just like a couple of steps to the side.
Not leaving you vulnerable.
No, he's keeping sight lines just
Yeah.
in case.
Yep.
Just in case somebody has a pistol. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's a...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I would like to leave it to you before things happen, just in case. Because something will probably happen really soon, but I want
Yeah.
to let you say something before that happens.
Yeah, I think I am gonna go over and find Violet,
Okay.
wherever she might be.
Socializing, normal. The lady hasn't come yet, so I've been talking to people and working my way towards where Mr. Chumley is to tell him a thing. You have to, there's people who always, greet before. You have to work your way through the room. So, yeah.
She'll wait till like you're at one of those moments in between people. So I couldn't help but notice that the announcer said my name before he said yours.
Corrected. Yes, I did hear that.
Yes. People might think you're me. And currently, that's not a good person to be.
No, but at least it takes the heat off of you a bit.
Not if it puts it on you.
Well, I at least, there's enough people here in town, I think, that would vouch for my Brasseltonness.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, all right.
I can always call on Lord Giles.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, just keep an eye. Keep an eye.
And
out.
call the doctor or something. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I will do my best to be wary. I'm going to let Mr. Chumley know the situation.
I can't believe they did that.
It's a day.
Clearly.
Yes.
And
Well,
then
since I'm suspect, you should probably not speak with me too often. Lovely to see you tonight, Lady Altrincham.
And you.
And then we
we'll
separate.
split. Yeah.
And I will go towards my totally not husband.
By the way, we're going to take up that erratic tag because it has been used.
Good.
And also, passionate has been used.
Did I get to use it?
It didn't really
yes.
felt like it was used.
Well, I mean, you can keep it, but It's up to you, because if you use it, that means she believes that you were truthful until you fell in love with her and then you started lying.
Oh,
you
I
don't-
see. So
Okay.
she gets the information. Okay, for a second I thought like, oh, I guess you're refusing the tag.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
seemed like to me.
Oh,
So,
she was still upset. Okay, yeah, I get it. Oh, then yeah, it's totally used.
It's up to you, because either
Like,
she thinks that
yeah.
you were lying to her for quite a long time, or that you only started lying to her when she developed feelings for her.
No, I misunderstood. So yeah, I got the information I wanted communicated. So that will be a used tag.
Which might then be able to that might work in your favor later. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because she will believe that you have not lied to
you
her.
didn't want to be a Chumley. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't it. It was that she didn't lie to him.
Yeah.
There was that he did not lie to her beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this means that you no longer have your positive reputation condition, which is second pair of hands, which means that Samuel is still here, but he's not necessarily he's not the level of loyal as he was when he was in your
Right.
just noting it. Now, because you wanted with that passionate for her to know that you did not lie to her up until recently, she does know that. And she does believe it, but she's still, a bit shocked and upset at the moment. And a little confused by your erratic nature. And what does this mean, that you only lie to people that you care about? Like, she's got some questions. I believe you were you were on your way to Lord Chumley?
Yes, to Mr. Chumley. Definitely not my husband. Definitely Mr. Chumley, yes. Mr. Chumley,
What?
are you out with a lot of people? I imagine you're not. Mr. Chumley was not necessarily the most loved character in town.
No, he's like just like hunched over in a corner like some old gremlin, silently judging everyone in the room.
In that case, perfect. Good. I can very quietly say, Mr. Chumley, there's a bit of an issue at hand.
Speak louder, young woman.
I'll do my best. If you value Lady Altringham's life, you will not call her by anything other than Lady Altringham, especially mentioning her first name. People might want to kill her tonight, and also there was a mishap with the announcements and people think that I might be her. So, just a heads up.
Wait, you mean to say that there are assassins among us?
Possibly, yes. Quite, more than likely, yes.
And Roland just looks at everyone in turn, like in the room.
So...
There are a lot of strangers here.
Yes, please don't call her or Harriet. Just Lady Altringham will do for this evening. And,
Oh, I think I'm gonna call her worse names than that.
it's not her fault.
No,
blame
I'm just playing the role.
Mr. Chumley. Oh, yes, as long as they're those kinds of names, that's fine. I mean, technically you would be her father, perhaps?
Yes, just to make things...
Well, yeah, maybe not. Maybe don't claim fathership over her tonight. People might figure it out. Just perhaps have a heart attack and die very quickly or something. Sooner is better
But
than later.
I've trained for this. I mean...
I know you
I need
have,
to
but
at least...
the situation is quite a bit more dire than we expected. I would like to have my husband here as my husband this evening.
At this moment...
I was gonna do something.
Oh, yeah. But at this moment, Reika steps forward out of the room in a bit of a state. And you can tell that she's about to say something as she's making her way towards Lord Chumley.
Uh-oh.
But before she does so, I want to give Lindy my monologue token because I want to know what the hell she thinking of.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And I'll pause and give it to Ms. Mole while that's happening.
So, inside Violet's head, she is more concerned about herself than everyone else at this moment in time. She is worried about her best friend, Hattie, Hattie's family. they're fairly close. Charles, maybe by association, Charles Way. This was supposed to be a fun evening with, some acting, perhaps Charles falling madly in love, or Miss Reika falling madly in love with him back. But this is not what it's all turned out to be at all. Apparently, it's a matter of state, and our lives are the ones that are on the line, which include mine now due to an error in the greeting, which, it's fine. It's fine. Enough people know that I was born and raised here. We could always get the doctor to corroborate or something. Violet is fairly confident that she could prove that she is not Hattie, but is scared to do so too early, because then that might put suspicion back on Hattie. Right now, Hattie is safer because people suspect Violet. She's she's concerned about everyone else. She's worried about Roland. She's worried about Charles and Hattie.
Is she worried about Lord Edmund Gills?
Okay, almost everyone else.
I will note, our gents have not yet monologued. Just note it.
Nope.
And you can see this woman. Also, I should say, what does Violet look like now 6 years hence? We never got that description.
Oh, yes.
How has she changed?
Let's see, how old is she? She's still pretty young,
Mm-hmm.
I think. She's 28, yes. Almost
Not that
30.
young.
Well,
So-
if she were unwed, she'd be
I mean, that
terrible.
would be just, oh.
So she's 28. She still looks a bit frail, though not as poorly as, 5-6 years ago.
Yes.
When there was an incident at a certain trial, but she does look, she's very slender, a little bit pale. She doesn't quite have the pep in her step that she used to, preferring more of a balanced state of momentum. She might actually have a couple of laugh lines now. She's getting a little bit older, but not much other signs of aging. She's still fairly young. Just a bit frail.
Charles, do you follow after Reika when she goes into the main ballroom?
Yeah, I think I would.
She's probably about to do something rash, but then.
Uh-oh.
The music starts,
Oh.
and the major domo goes, we will be having our first dance, the Sir Roger de Coverley. And everybody starts moving to sort of create the lines. And they sort of cause this traffic interruption between Reika and her goal, which was Lord Chumley.
Mm-hmm.
And people start making a line, and you can, one of Faith grabs your hand, Hattie, and also yours, Violet, to sort of pull you into the line.
Yes.
Of dance. And Reika is also sort of like commandeered into this line.
Mm-hmm.
And Charles, now Leslie is pulled away from you, Hattie, which she is not particularly happy about, but there is a line and you have to be in the line.
Yes.
And Leslie looks to you, Charles, and there are people all lining up to be in this big dance.
Hmm.
They're looking you to join.
I join.
Mr. Chumley.
Muted on Zoom, yes?
They expect you to dance as well. It would be untoward if you didn't.
Oh, I will make sure it is bad.
And so let us begin with this dance, shall we? You are all in these two lines. And this is the Sir Roger de Coverley. And in this particular dance, you have someone across from you. And you sort of move in and bow, and they curtsy, and you move back out. And then the people in the corners do the same. And the people in the corners sort of spin around each other, right? And with each sort of there's sort of like a little complicated patterns of sort of coming in on the corners and spinning around and coming back out. And as this couple is coming out, the other one comes in. And then sort of the head couple comes down, and they run down the line, and then you switch partners by going a little bit crossways. And so you're each going to be rotating through this dance. And so you will each be dancing with everybody in the circle at one point in time, sort of. And there's like you're all apart, and then you all move in very close and sort of spin around each other, perhaps stab each other in the gut with a knife or whatever you got going on. And then you move back out, and everyone will be able to have this sort of moment with each other where in the midst of this rush of tails and dresses, there's a really nice sort of moment for you all to sort of be in close contact with each other right in the middle of the dance floor. Yes, that's exactly right. So, as everybody begins, and you can hear people laughing, and Faith is tittering, making herself exceptionally attractive, so that perhaps somebody will want to marry her, or that she can get who she wants to marry.
She is quite old to be unmarried at 25.
So old.
She's 25 and not married. She's apparently quite picky. It is apparently the rumor around town. And I'm going to start with Hattie. Hattie, who's the first person that is in your partner dance?
Leslie, of course.
You move in with Leslie, and as you he bows towards you and moves back out. You come back in, and there's that moment where you both, it's sort of like a slight close embrace as you twirl around each other, and before you go back out, you have a moment to say something to him, and vice versa, as you are both rotating around each other, and another couple is going to be coming in towards.
Hattie looks a little nervous as she comes in, and she's like, so I know this is probably the worst timing possible, but I do have something to tell you. And then they pull away.
Yeah. And the other couple comes in and circles around each other. Charles, you are one of the other couples who will be circling around at this moment. Who's on the other side of you?
What is this according to the order we talked about, or just
No,
anyone?
because those are
Anyone.
separate.
Yes.
This would be because everyone
Okay.
dances with everyone
You know,
here.
let's
It's
go
not
for
like-
the. We'll say the immediate second beat of Reika.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. And so Reika is not, because she's not across from you, but with this particular dance you do X-wise, right? So the person right across, not the person that you do this with, is on the far corners. So she's in the farthest corner of you. And then, of course, as those two, as Hattie and Leslie are pulling apart, you and Reika come together for this embrace and twirl. And she says to you as you move in, she says, I can't believe you lied to me.
Yes, but when I lie, I do a lot of it. For instance, I nudge over to where Roland is. That's not my dad. That's a friend of mine dressed up as my dad.
As you are pulled apart, and she's what? As you're pulled backwards, and Leslie and Hattie come back together for their circle.
I love it.
So, it's still very early, but I'm with child, and then we pull away.
And she pulls back, and like you two pull back out.
Yeah.
As you and Reika come back in for your second twirl, and she goes, "How can I believe anything you have to say to me after all you've done, all you've lied to me about?"
Honestly, I'm not sure. I just hope it works out in the end.
But and then she wants to say something, but then like you two are pulled apart, and then the couple cycle, and then the next circle of dancers come in.
Yeah, when I get a chance to,
Yep.
I don't know who like Mr. Chumley's dancing with.
You tell
but-
me.
Oh no, pick someone at random. I really don't care. Because Mr. Chumley's not gonna care either. He's like going through the motions. If Simon's eating cookies right now, it's because Mr. Chumley's probably also eating. Like he has a crumpet in his hands while dancing, and he just goes up to the face of like his partner and just,
It'll be Faith Jill.
I was gonna
Your
say it should be
face.
Lady Faith. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't like your face. And just-
What? It's like she seems a little shocked as like she's waiting for you to twirl her around, and because another couple's coming in pretty quickly, so she's waiting for you to twirl her around, and she's a little shocked.
I pretend to like try to twirl her, but like I can't. I can't stretch out enough for this.
And she does not look deliciously attractive and wonderful because you've given her a very bad twirl. And she's quite distressed by this as you two are pulled apart, Violet.
And I don't move away. I just stay in like the way of the other dancers, acting like a confused grandpa.
Oh no! And she's like, the other dancers are coming in, one of whom is Violet.
Yes.
And
you know the other has to be Lord Gilles. You know, because my husband's not here yet. Of course, Lord Gilles would take the opportunity.
Yes.
To swoop in, to position himself strategically. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and I have the best remark.
So these two are kind of stuck in the middle because it's supposed to go, you two walk in, and as you're walking out, the other couple walks in, right? Like there's a whole coordination here, and they're stuck in the center as you two are coming to dance in towards each other.
Gilles comes up and he like vaguely acknowledges his sister because he's like, "Why are you still here?" kind of thing, and and he
so like they're messing up your twirl with Violet. I just want to know.
Like this.
I imagine it's something along the lines of just like what? Not just why are you still here? It's just like you do better.
Get out of the way.
Yeah,
like come on. Yeah,
this is not a good look for you. Like,
yeah.
That seems like something you would totally say to a sister.
Absolutely.
And so she tries to push old man like crumbly
Careful.
out.
He might die.
And then she kills him. No.
Oh, Lord Gilles! As I step away, and because I have to step away, I have to speak louder.
Yes.
Just, Lord Gilles, how's that syphilis treating you?
That couple steps out.
I try to keep a dignified face. I failed a little bit, but I attempt to not look like
Gilles
I've heard
just
anything.
looks utterly like appalled and super pissed off at the same time, and he'll do like the
Gilles?
twirl. Yes. You look ravishing tonight, Lady Brustleton, as
Thank you.
usual.
You kind.
As you're walking back out, Lady Faith comes back in, waiting for Mr. Chumley to sort of come back in for their second twirl, and she's clearly trying real hard to look especially graceful because she knows that this old guy, is and she like heads towards the center, and she's waiting for you to join her to give her a good spin.
He's going to come back like a little late, offbeat. But at the same time, I'm trying to look for Charles' face in the crowd.
He's down the line a little bit, right on the same line as you.
If our eyes meet, I just give you like a very subtle nod along the line of like, I'm doing a good job, right?
I'm giving you a very stiff like, no. Cut it off. We're done here.
And she decides to basically force you to twirl her in a way that makes her look really good.
It's
She's
like when
gonna
the
try
follow
really hard.
leads. Yeah,
Yeah.
back leading. She's back leading.
She's back
Except-
right now.
Except that proves a little too much for Lord Chumley, and he goes,
And she like grabs onto you like, oh no, like she's, and there's like and at this point in time, it's I believe it's your second round, you two, Lord Edmund and Violet.
Yeah. So they're like in our way, right? He's
Yes,
having
they
like
are.
this fake heart attack in our way.
Yes.
Lord Gilles just looks like, how dare you do this to me in my moment?
I'm just gonna let you know your sister and her dancer partner are just totally blocking you right now.
Yeah.
I just want you to know it.
Faith,
Agency
what is this? What is happening?
You would blame your sister. Yes. It's such a Lord Gilles thing to do.
And at this point in time,
Goodness,
a
are you all
doctor-
right? Is it the doctor we know?
No.
Oh no.
A doctor you don't know rushes forward to see if you're all right.
We should get him off the dance floor, and I will help move the heart attack man off of the dance floor.
Jill's just kind of stands there for a couple seconds, looking, again, very pissed off, before he begrudgingly follows after.
And the dance keeps going.
Yeah, I bet it does.
But where do you two go?
Oh,
And you
us?
have a mysterious
doctor?
Mhm.
Yeah. I will ask Lord Jills, because he's begrudgingly come with. What's our doctor's name in town?
Oh, your doctor's name.
Yeah, the town doctor who I could probably bribe
Yes.
with money.
Yes. No, that's Rafferty's first
that
slicing.
doctor.
To help fake Lord Mr. Chumley's death.
You have this other strange doctor you've never met before.
Yes. I will go. I will ask. Place my hand on Lord Jills's arm, since we've walked away, and say, "Goodness, this is quite an eventful night. I suppose you can't have too many doctors. Would you mind fetching the one we have in Barton's Mill?" And I'm going to cough a bit, as if this event has been so.
And the other
Exasperating
goes-
to the lungs.
Yes.
The other goes, "Yes, I think that's a right good idea. Come with me. We will take this man into this side so we can open up his cravat." The doctor says,
Can I
moving our Roland with
We knock out the doctor and have you come back
Can
for
I-
my husband? Like, I don't know.
can I butt in with a thing that might fuck up
Absolutely.
something
Oh.
or someone?
Oh no.
Absolutely.
I want to give a resolve token to someone
Mhm,
because
Okay.
I want this mysterious doctor to actually be an assassin.
mhm,
Oh.
I see. I think that's fair. I feel like that's fair.
But like, it's not an NPC that's been created so far.
Yes.
No, that's fine.
So either we create them and
Yes.
that NPC gains a resolve token,
Absolutely.
or
Yes.
I would give my resolve token to Nugget because it would put her in more danger than me.
I don't think it would be putting her to danger right now.
Okay. No, but I mean in the like
No, I think you'd have to give that to Violet.
to Violet,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I will give my resolve token to Violet.
Sure.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what? Why not?
Yep.
Because she is my wife and we
Yep.
trade resolve tokens.
We trade
together.
resolve tokens. Yes.
Yes.
We share.
And so you two are moved right into like one of these side rooms. This doctor, and Lady Brazelton and dying old Mr. Chumley. And as the door closes upon you three in this side anteroom, out in the main ballroom, couples have swapped. Yes, let's start with Samuel. Who is your dance partner? I believe
That's you,
Samuel
Simon.
is played by Simon.
Samuel Crafton, young lad.
Sorry, Simon decided to take a bite of the worst.
It's fair. And I called on you because I thought
We
it would be
love to
great
ask people questions when they're eating food here on this channel. Nugget can attest.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Every week for 5 years running.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm Samuel.
Yes.
Who's your dance partner at this moment? Who do you sort of come into the dance with?
Oh my god. Does it have to be someone who hasn't danced yet?
No? Because
Okay.
you rotate through.
Because Samuel, I mean, he's relatively young.
Mhm.
And Jennifer has disappeared,
As far
Right.
as he knows.
or
Mhm.
as far as he knows.
Mhm.
So he's gonna have to look for, someone else to be potentially
Mhm.
a potential love
Is
partner.
it Jennifer in disguise? I just want to know.
She is in here in
If
disguise.
she looks younger than Lady Faith, it's her.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, she looks younger
But
than Lady Faith. Lady
now,
Faith's like a decade older.
The thing I'm wondering is, because you have to know their name, right, to put them on the dance card. You can't
No,
just
because
go like,
this is a round dance.
Yeah,
where
it's we're
you're
still
gonna
in
be
the
dancing
round
Oh,
dance.
okay.
You
every
swap
single person.
again. Yeah. The first
okay,
dance,
okay, okay.
nice round dance. So
Yeah, the first dance is a nice round dance where you all like it's like 2 big lines, right? And then you all sort of do this thing, and then you like rotate down. So then you're going to basically dance with each person in the room once, including yourself.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, okay.
You know. Or-
So it has to be Jennifer.
Okay.
okay.
What are you disguised as, Jennifer?
Oh, I imagine Jenny has a few different hats for this event because events
course.
not or anything. It's you should have
Hats.
a hat for every occasion, and by hats I mean wigs, costumes, the works. I think because all sorts of people get invited to these, it's not just the upper nobility. There has to be lesser nobility
Yes.
and like kind of unknowns as well. People
Yes.
from around the area, so that
Yes.
you know,
and there are a
people can
lot of
talk down to
strangers
them.
here, actually. Like a
Yes.
lot of people have sort of showed up.
Yes. So she would be dressed as one of the lesser ladies, you know, minor nobility, maybe even just wealthy merchant family or something. Someone that's not going to draw a lot of attention, basically. She was a maid earlier, or like a, you know, sir.
And she might
waitress.
still be, actually. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
just coming in and out
Yes.
whenever she feels like
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. Quick changes. Because the outfits weren't terribly different. If you just throw on a different overcoat, it changes the whole look. So right now she's dressed as a lesser lady.
And then you two come in for your center.
Hmm?
You two come in for your twirl.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, it's Samuel.
Why is he here?
Yep.
She wonders.
You're striking, milady.
Thank you. She's picked up a bit of been able to put on a bit of a Londoner accent due to her time traveling now. So she wants to fake it till she makes it. It's not great, but it's passable up here in the north. You're quite handsome yourself.
What's your name, milady?
Before she can answer, you have to split apart.
Yeah.
And the next couple comes in. And I believe, Charles, who are you dancing with in your... who's the next person in your line?
Next person. I mean, it's always comical to have like a weird mix-up, like communications get crossed and somehow just, I don't know, maybe him and Leslie are pushed together.
And like, I think that Leslie had sort of got bumped, and he sort of comes in, and he's like,
Well, we
"Oh."
did lose a gentleman
Yes.
because Lord Jill's, but we
And he goes, Charles, have you seen my wife?
Am I leading or are you?
Oh,
Right.
you can lead. It's fine. Have you seen my wife?
You, and he catches himself. Wait, do I know
Lady
the warning? I'm pretty sure I
Altrincham.
know the warning,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, and it's like, right. No, I've been kind of dealing with something on my own here, Leslie. Speaking of which, how do you make a woman stop being angry at you? You've had a lot of practice at this.
Oh yes, I have a very well, and then they pulled apart as Samuel and Jennifer come back together.
Uh-oh.
And we come back together, and it's lovely, and Arnett, because I think Simon can still hear me.
Yes. Oh
oh.
yes.
Tiffany, sir, my name's Tiffany, and you are.
I am honored to meet you, Tiffany. I'm Samuel Chumley.
Samuel Chumley. See. Wheels, cogs turning.
Also, other ears are listening, and as I imagine you're pulling back out, as Leslie and Charles comes back in, and he goes, "Oh well, why do this one? Firstly, a good apology. But listen, I've been told there's a second here. You want to look for someone you wouldn't expect. I was told. There's danger. There's something about a red kerchief."
Red kerchief.
Yes.
Got it. Thanks for the advice.
We'll talk
Ugh.
later. Apologies.
Apologies.
Honesty. Pulling back out.
Wait, spoken or written?
As you're pulled back out, Hattie.
Yes.
Yes. Who are you dancing with right now?
I think she's dancing with a stranger.
Nice, sweet, excellent. Sort of striking man with a brilliant red pocket square sort of comes in to your dance.
Yeah.
And he goes, Lady Aldringham, I saw that you were speaking with Lady Harriet Brazelton, he says as he gives you a twirl.
Her name is Violet Brazelton.
Oh, yes, of course. I heard there was some sort of strangeness about her parentage, wasn't there?
No, it's always been Lord and Lady Brazelton.
Yes, but my understanding is, and then you're pulled back out.
Too
As
young.
you two were too young. As you two are pulled back out, I feel like who should be our last of that pair couple to come in right about now?
Oh, if we want just a sweet couple and not necessarily like a danger couple, we have, for example, we have the general.
What makes you
what's
think
his
that'll
face?
be a sweet couple?
That's for susness. But we also have the lawyer that came here for the trials.
Yes.
Lord Gregory Wimbledon.
Yes.
So
Yes, I imagine he is here. Who is he dancing with?
well, we have a few people here. There's Amelia Brown.
Yes, he'll be dancing with her.
I was gonna say there's also my lady's maid.
I don't know if my ex-wife is still around, but maybe she's seeing
That's
other
true.
people.
Yeah, she could be here.
Or looking
see
for
the
for some
estate
help
taken
to
from
sue
you.
me more.
Yeah.
You know, I think it'll be Amelia Brown, sort of coming in with the inspector, yes? With the lawyer?
Yes, the lawyer.
Yes. And she'll sort of come in, and she'll say to him, Gregory, quickly, has anyone found out about Harriet?
And this was Hattie's lawyer.
Yes,
so I
indeed
think-
it was.
I think he'll just say, I'm sorry, who? Like
You'll say, this. I came all the way from London. Listen, it's something very important. And then, of course, you're pulled back away. I believe that is our Hattie coming back in. Yes,
Yes.
for your second round.
Yes. And I did just tell him that it's always been Lord and Lady Brazelton.
yes.
And the striking gentleman goes, yes, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Your first name was?
Is it Victoria?
Yeah, but I think because she doesn't want Violet to take the heat for her.
Just slap him. Just slap
Don't
him
say
across
Harriet.
the line.
She I think there was a mix-up. My name is Harriet. Because she didn't know the red handkerchief thing.
Yeah.
So.
I am going to offer you a result.
no.
Take it. Don't
Oh,
take
no.
it. Don't do
It's-
it.
It's
How
actually
what?
one of your tags. It's one of your tags.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'd like to get your disrespectful tag.
Mm-hmm.
That because people know that you're unruly is better. People know that you're unruly. You know that I don't think he's going to believe you because you are one of those kind of people
Ooh.
that would, just sort of say inappropriate things that are not necessarily
Yeah.
true.
Oh, your negative tag coming in a positive way?
Oh no, it's
What?
not positive.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Positive for her, maybe. No.
I want to do a but.
Give me a butt.
Okay.
It makes him confused. He's not so sure in his ideas, I guess. Maybe it'll make him hesitate.
Mhm. Okay. But he's going to think of you as a bit of a problem, but I don't think he's going to believe you that you are the Harriet.
Okay.
Because you're so unruly anyway. Like, people like
Yeah.
that sort of make claims all the
That
time.
Lord
Exactly.
Aldringham's wife, so unruly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that unruly off of you for that one.
Okay.
I just don't think he believes you enough. But now he's like a little, okay. And as you're pulled back out, Amelia comes back in with the lawyer. And she's like, listen, it's starting. They know about it. They've already sent in a letter, an invitation to the coronation. We've got to get her out of here.
Yes, I quite agree. I think the best way to do that would be to draw attention away.
All right. She doesn't know I'm here, though. And then you're pulled back out. And so, let's go back in to that side room, shall we? Yes, as the...
Do we
yes,
just
you
come clean and be like, I wasn't Lord Chumley at all?
with duels, you can always have somebody stand in for you. You can always have a champion who stands in for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I see. Thank you.
Yes.
That was curious.
Mm-hmm. So you're in this room.
I'm not gonna put the wig.
You know, it's fine. And our Lord, our Mr. Chumley is sort of dying on the corner.
Oh, dear.
And the doctor turns to you and he sort of picks up his doctor's bag and he's rummaging through it. A red kerchief, interesting. And he pulls out a pistol and he trains it on you. And he goes, Harriet Brazelton.
What? My name is
I
Violet
lunge at the
Brazelton.
pistol.
Oh,
But you're dying.
Yeah, no, screw that. He's aiming at my wife.
my wife.
He's that good of an actor. You fell for it.
So let's talk about some resolve tokens here, shall we? And what are we going to do about this? We have a struggle over a gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have many resolve tokens.
You do. You have a lot of resolve tokens.
And there's so many things that could happen.
So his aim is to shoot and kill Harriet
Oh, dear.
Brazelton.
Yes.
Yes.
Harriet Brazelton.
Yes.
What position is he in at the moment?
Unsuspecting of Mr. Dying Old Man, that's for sure.
This is correct. I'd imagine.
No,
Mr.
but I
Dying
meant
Old Man's on
physically.
he's standing. I would imagine he's standing with you on the floor to his side, right? And he sort of like had the doctor's back. He stands up and he turns the pistol on
Hold
Violet.
the pistol out of the doctor's bag, yeah.
Yes, so he's facing Violet, and I imagine you are on the ground to the side. That he's not paying too much attention to you because you're a dying old man.
Probably
so-
on a fainting couch. If
Yeah,
we,
yeah,
yeah. So you just swing your legs off and
You know what? Oh, it's going to be horrible.
Mm,
I want to spend a resolve token for something.
please, I'm ready for it.
But because Violet put me on a fainting couch, I am now more at waist level than earlier. I want there to be a scalpel in his bag.
Yes.
Oh, it's a doctor's
And
bag.
I want Roland to... Well, I mean, he's a fake doctor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
I want Roland to grab the scalpel, and he's just going to lift his arm up and basically stab him in the the carotid artery?
Ooh, the carotid artery, yeah.
No, not the carotid. The one that's where your groin is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, biology escapes me
Yes.
because you know what? I don't.
No. You don't want to hit it. It's the
It's the femoral artery.
yes, the femoral artery.
femoral artery. Yeah.
Yes.
So he's
the
not
biggest
aiming for
artery.
it. He's just. I'm just lifting my arm up,
Yep.
Just-
wanting to stab the guy. It just so happens that it's going to hit a place that is, not necessarily sensitive. But holy shit, is there a lot of blood that spills very quickly?
Yeah, he's probably gonna die.
I'm going to note
Yeah, I
that
know.
Pritwich wants to know how old he is. And I feel like for the sake of
He has to be 56 years old.
56 years old.
He has to be above the age of 55.
Yes, because that is a
Yes.
thing.
It's Barden's Mill. They only sent old men as assassins, and that's gonna be their mistake.
The thing, the whole thing is that what we didn't know is that this guy, like, that was his last job. Like, he was supposed to
He was
retire,
supposed
to
and he was
retire.
like, I'm going to, he
my
had like his
gosh.
whole like 56th birthday party last night.
Terrible.
Oh.
Terrible.
And
The
he
night
had to leave
before.
early. Yeah, he had to leave
Oh.
early for Barton Mills, and he's like, I'm just going to kill one like innocent person. It's going to be fine.
Lindy, you and I
Yes.
are here, and either one of us can yes but any of this.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, we have some butts. We have big butts, and I
And we cannot lie.
No.
Um,
Do you have a butt?
I I might.
There's gonna be a
I
lot
might-
of blood and stabbing right now.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
I might also have some ands.
Please, ands and buts.
I'm pondering it. So if you have any you definitely wanted to get out,
Um,
because I know you have some. I just know it.
Of course I do. I will take, by the way, a resolve token for. I will take this resolve token since this assassin is dying.
Yes.
I would like there to be an awful lot of blood on either one or both, whoever's the most inconvenient.
Ooh.
I want blood all over one of you two, because I feel like that'll be very exciting. Who would be the most inconvenient to have a lot of blood on them right now?
I mean,
feel
if
like
I'm
violence.
covered, yeah. But at the same time, if I'm covered in blood
murdered
and I
someone
walk
before.
out without the wig and everything, everyone
Yes.
knows that I was impersonating the old man.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So- But it's more high society drama
Mhm.
if
Yes.
Violet gets blood
Yeah.
on herself.
You
If
both get
the
out.
if Harriet is found covered in
Yeah.
blood,
Yeah.
immediate excuse to attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
yeah.
French assassin, sharpshooter.
Mhm,
Oh, let me look at
mhm.
any rumors we have too. Just
Oh, yeah. We got a
in
bunch of them.
case
Yes,
we
do.
have something.
Oh, because Jennifer will never reach adulthood. That's out there. I'm just gonna note it.
yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
No, I don't think I want to use any rumors at this time. Okay. Awful lot of blood.
Mhm,
This could go so many ways. I will be covered in blood.
mhm,
In this very expensive dress. But because I think it's more exciting, I want the gun to go off,
Nice.
but not
Okay.
hit anyone.
So
So the a loud
yeah.
gunshot would be
Yes.
heard. They don't have
Yes.
silencers yet.
yes.
And I will be
Yes.
covered in blood, and Roland will
Yes.
not be.
Okay. All right.
And I
Right, because-
imagine
Mhm.
that we had a change of clothes for Roland because he was going to come back as my husband, and so he
Yes.
could make that quick change to be like, who knows where we could just put the wig on the doctor. Lord Chumley's wig.
Yeah, or we shove it in his bag and
Oh, yes. We framed the fake assassin doctor as the Lord Chumley pretender.
So
But we
you
just-
murdered
we
Lord
just put-
Chumley.
I did not. No.
Somebody did.
Somebody did.
You're covered in blood.
Yes.
that assassin.
That assassin.
So outside, a gunshot goes off.
Mm-hmm. And my husband's
And-
here now. Somehow. It's strange.
Well-
Ta-ta.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not yet, because there's just been a huge gunshot and everyone's gonna
Yeah.
music stops, right? You all hear this massive gunshot in this side anteroom where Violet and Roland and the doctor were.
Harriet is the first one to move because she thinks that Violet's been shot. So just go straight for it.
And there's somebody faints, right? And there's a crush as everybody
Oh,
rushes to the door.
At least one person, if not more. Yes.
At least.
It's
At
absolutely
least.
safe.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
Yes, but
Yes,
she
of
faints
course
in a
it
way.
is.
She's like, oh.
Somebody catches her. Yeah.
Like, she's making sure that somebody very eligible will catch
She
her.
faints
All
towards
right.
an eligible suitor. Yes.
Yes, she does. And I think there's a sort of crush, and people sort of like, especially one of the sort of the, I just have evil thoughts. Sort of rush to go sort of open the door, and what do they?
We
see?
can always say Lord Chumley stabbed the doctor and ran. We could say that.
So they see what?
Violet, covered in blood, and I think I want to use 2 of my tags.
You
I
probably
want
only
to
need one.
use. Well, I want
Depends.
to use hysterical because this is traumatic.
How is this will go badly for you?
Well, the scene doesn't look great from an assassin's viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? So I went off with Harriet and is now dead. But Violet's going to say, do I want to go with Mr. Chumley stabbed the doctor and ran? I think it was all a ruse. But then my husband is Mr. Chumley, so maybe I don't want to frame my husband. So I'm just gonna use hysterical. Let's just get out of all my negative tags at this point.
So if you're hysterical, people are going to think you did it.
Oh, okay, never mind. I take it back. I take it all back.
Because that's what a hysterical person would do. You know what I mean? Like,
then I will just use my tag good character. People don't think it was me.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, but
I do have
what-
that tag.
Yeah, so get rid of that positive. But what would you like them to think? Since you have good character after all.
I do. I have such good character. I'm just going to rearrange those so I don't have to shift things around too much. All right, good character. It wasn't me who killed these. I said I could never. What do we want them to think? How
It's
did
just
this
like
man?
the dead doctor?
How did this man die? I doubt it was.
56.
Yeah, holding a gun. Because I doubt we did that. Imagine we just
Mhm.
quick changed Roland.
What if I mean, one of the easiest, you could say that he ignored Chumley and he tried to throw himself at you.
Self-defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a noble.
Where's Chumley?
I don't.
Is Roland? Are you still in Chumley's guise? What? Have you done?
So what Roland is going to do,
How do I get out of this murder?
since I have no blood on me,
You could totally be Roland.
I oh, holy shit. Yes.
Oh, okay. What is it?
The old man is going to walk into the ballroom going like, "It's okay. I've got him." And I'll take the wig off and say, "I've got him. I've got him. He's dead."
And there's like this hush, like what is going on? Right as you pull this wig off, and everyone's like,
And I'm, of course, very upset. Very upset and frightened because he tried to force himself upon me at his gunpoint. It was very traumatic. It was just terrible.
and somebody says, he killed the doctor. That Frenchman, he killed the doctor. And there's this sort of like unease. I would like to pull your tag rake that that people think you probably actually just did this you've already killed somebody before, that maybe you are not like, maybe this wasn't because you were being heroic, but because actually you're perhaps a little bit questionable.
Can I offer a slight counter?
Absolutely.
I will get rid of either sweet and innocent or loyal
Oh, you do have sweet and innocent.
to make it so that it is not unanimous. And so I want
Yes.
the people of
Because I
Barton
used a good
Mills
tag
to be.
too. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I just want them to be
Yes.
again,
Yeah.
torn between
Yeah.
should he go to jail and die or
Or what is
Um,
happening, right? Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Because
I'm of good character, and I said that he tried to, force himself upon me, and this was defense. And he may have killed him because he's a bit of a Frenchman and a rake, but he seemed loyal. Maybe it was.
I'll remove
Yeah.
loyal because he threw himself at you, and I'll just reply that it was not a doctor, it was an assassin. It's too long to explain to everyone, but if you want to, I can later explain everything. Right now, we need the inspector.
Inspector Gridley.
Is Inspector Gridley here?
Oh, I would imagine so.
I think good old Inspector Gridley. Simon, that is you.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I love it. There's a lot of hubbub at this moment. Right?
This is poor Reka. She's like, I just wanted to. This was supposed to be a revenge party.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's a murder.
And
And she-
no,
And
go
she
ahead.
steps forward and she goes, "You are not Mr. Chumley?"
Oh, that's still roll on, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I am not. this. Charles, where are you?
And she turns, she says, "You lied to me yet again."
He said he lied big.
Technically, this is part of the first lie of the continuing lying from the point that I became a moron.
And she says, "Well, then I have to challenge you to a duel, Charles, since you are the only last Chumley."
That is not true. Wig comes off.
What? Another wig reveal.
And Violet is not Violet.
Jennifer.
Jennifer is standing right next to, as a concerned noble, just pulls off the wig.
Samuel faints.
Oh!
Yes. My father, who is technically a Brazelton, has never taken the Chumley name. I am Jennifer Chumley. You have stolen this house out from underneath my family. No help from that dirty Anselm. But I am here to challenge you.
And she looks at, like, there's like a, and she looks at Charles at this moment
This
to see what he
14-year-old
does
I'm
as these two people who are very important to you.
only eyes for my daughter. I like to go over and give her a hug.
I'm having a moment.
Where
At that
have
point,
you been?
At that point, Harriet comes over as well and just kind of like slams into the two of them. just Jennifer, I'm gonna have words with you. Where the hell have you been?
All over the place. London, France. It's not of importance.
Would it have killed you to write? To let us know that you were fine?
Everybody's watching this, by the way. The entire ball is like, ooh.
I threatened you would have had a sending address and would have tried to get me, so no.
Excuse me, I have challenged.
Yes,
Charles,
Rika,
to a
we
duel.
understand. Give us just a brief moment. We haven't seen our niece my niece in a very long time. Just, you can have your duel. Just one brief moment,
Yes,
please.
I'm going to duel you.
I'm not doing you, I'm doing Charles.
You want to do a Chumley? I am the last Chumley.
After getting the appropriate amount of hugging, after how many years it's been, I will
6.
stand up. 6 long years. 6 long years of no waiting. Right now, it's mostly happiness. The anger will come later. I stand up and I turn to Reika. Where are the terms for your duel?
She's a little bit taken aback because she didn't really know if you would accept it. Like, she was, well, you as the eldest son of the Chumleys, you have
Well,
ruined my life. It's your fault that the ship, my father was killed, and so I challenge you to a duel, and as I challenge you to a duel, you, by rights, you're allowed to choose the weapon.
In this moment, I would like to use my brave tag
Yes.
to
Mhm.
do something very dumb.
I'm
no.
for it.
Oh, sister.
I would like to use my brave tag to essentially come clean that it is not his fault, it's my fault. So
What?
yeah.
And
that's-
she looks to you like, what are you talking about?
It's a very long and very complicated story. Charles Chumley was not either of our fathers. And if you would permit it, we would love to tell you everything. But I think, as she glances around at the entire fucking ballroom, I think a more private area might be better.
I would like to
And he's going to stamp her foot.
a
I
Oh,
actually
no.
want to invoke one as well.
really you after
Who?
you then.
Oh, I was going to invoke because it just seems like it would kind of make sense in the end. Giles hunting prisoners, and he plays for keeps and is a vampire hunter. It kind of lends itself to him like spending a lot of time with high rollers and being well
Yes.
connected and like
Yeah.
doing more unsavory things to
Yeah.
get ahead in life. So
Absolutely.
I'd like to
Mhm.
imagine as Harriet's explaining all this, we just kind of like Giles finally kind of comes into focus in this scene, and we see that he's dabbing his head with a red handkerchief.
Yes.
Oh,
do you
no.
accept that nugget? Do you accept it?
Oh yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then
Jesus Christ.
let me please cross out that rumor. That is delicious. And let me cross out mine. I would like to invoke another one that has been lurking.
Mhm.
Lord Brazelton's estate has proved.
I was just about to invoke that one from
Do it.
Jennifer.
Do it. You can have it. You can have it. Please do. Take it.
Jenny
Read that
will
rumor out loud.
pull out some documents because, are they forged? Are they not forged? Who knows at this point? But who's
read out the
to
rumor.
say that maybe the Brazeltons and the Chumleys didn't work together a little bit to create an air of confusion to maybe protect a certain Harriet. The rumor is Lord Brazelton's estate has proof that the Brazeltons did the misdeeds around the shipwreck and framed the Chumleys.
Yes. Might I posit that perhaps Papa Brazelton,
Mm-hmm.
as the Lord Sheriff,
Lord High Sheriff, yes.
Lord High Sheriff, basically forced Papa Chumley into this
Ooh.
position in order to keep Harriet safe. Because as the Lord High Sheriff, he probably had the connections. Like
Yeah,
he probably
yeah.
actually brought in Harriet and did a swap, right? So, and that actually there is a daughter that was swapped out. There is another one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. How do you take it? Do we take it? That as the yeah.
Fine by me.
Okay. So, and of course this also explains why our Papa Chumley was so bitter, because
Yeah.
he was the bad guy for something that he was basically forced to do by the Lord High Sheriff for the
Mhm.
good of the realm. Yes. Jennifer, please take it. Please take it.
It wasn't even the Chumleys who did this in the first place. They were framed.
Huh? And
What?
there's like a
I have the paperwork. She holds it out. Now, we can duel over this. Stares right at the
Jennifer,
eyes.
Jennifer,
But
can we please
I think that the conversation would not be a terrible idea. Perhaps,
Thank you.
again, away from prying eyes, because I bet that Jenny kind of knows what this means for Hattie, and she likes her aunt.
yeah.
Papa Chumley said family's important, and they're family.
Yes. She's
I can show
Alright.
you everything.
and then
And if you're not happy with it, I'd be happy to duel you afterwards.
She says, ladies and gentlemen, the second dance will be starting. And she like gives an eye to her sort of her main butler, and she sort of gestures for you all to sort of head to not the one anteroom with the dead body.
Not that anteroom. There's so many anterooms. This is a big house, big
Yes.
estate.
Yes. And I imagine Jill's with the red handkerchief is probably watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd like to once again approach my daughter, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
I give her another hug and I look into her eyes and say, "You're grounded forever."
You can't make me.
I get I am part of this family too. You can watch me.
I would like Hattie will motion over the inspector because he's here, right?
Mhm.
Because I think it's probably
And I
important that
think-
he's a part of this conversation.
Yep.
And I think the lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
if he's
Okay.
heard anything about the red handkerchief, is going to start noting who has red handkerchiefs at this party and who doesn't to try to work on. He's a plan man, you know.
And is Roland anywhere near here, or?
Yeah, he's
He's standing right next to everyone, and
There's
he's
been
just
a lot, yeah.
stunned by all the revelations. Now he's actively looking for someone to just say they're Spartacus or something.
I look Roland up and down. It's like, really, Roland again?
The town of Bottom Hills goes, "No, I'm Harriet Ultrickham. No, me."
I haven't. What me again? I haven't done.
You always seem to get caught up in the worst situations, friend.
You asked me to be your father.
This was
Indeed,
supposed
that's
to be
this
a
chance.
romantic gesture, not a
Yeah, I
bloodbath.
told you truth
What
and
hap-
honesty, and I'm just gonna guide Roland away so they can have their moment. Let's dance, darling.
Well, I thought they were gonna have the conversation on the side. She says, like, Rika wants everybody else to start dancing so she can
Yes,
take all of you all
that's
to have
why
that conversation.
Violet's
Yeah.
pulling Roland away to and encouraging people to dance because the dance has been announced.
So me, Hattie, Reka, and
Yes.
Jenny will step into a side room.
and
And
Violet
Leslie.
and Roland.
And
And
Leslie.
Leslie.
Us too? You want Violet? and
Yeah,
Roland as
because
well?
you
Okay.
get to the Braceltons.
So basically, we let the extras dance and
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
do something
yeah.
more
Sure,
interesting.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
The-
exactly.
The extras are gonna go and dance, and some people might be lurking. Go ahead.
Yes, and when we get into the side room, Violet checks the secret passage to make sure no one's listening.
Mm-hmm. And Ricky,
Maybe I should go
what is
get my
happening?
axe.
What?
Oh, not. I'm looking for red handkerchiefs around the room a little nervously, remembering like, oh yeah, there's some serious stuff going on.
Hattie, do you have a red handkerchief?
Do I know?
I'm just asking.
I don't think so.
I mean, you
How about
could.
for a resolve token?
For a resolve token, would have a.
Be my
I
own
have an-
assassin?
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
They would never suspect.
No. No, Jenny, you have.
Yes.
This is news to me. Care to.
Grandpapa
Explain?
Chumley was all up in the Brastleton estate secret passages and the Chumley's estate secret passages, and he got this paperwork and he gave it to me.
And Reika wants to look at it as well to see.
Yeah, and she'll put it on a desk so everyone can look for it, like spread it out on the table.
And
Mhm.
it's all there.
Reika looks. What is this about it? Swapping of daughters?
I am not, like I said, I am not a Chumley. I happen to supposedly, I have no solid evidence besides a letter that I am the child of the king and his first illegal wife.
Ah.
Yes.
Which means,
What?
according.
Yes, Roland. That's part of why we didn't want to say my name tonight. Because there might possibly be
Assassins
assassin.
aren't here.
Yes,
They know they're
yes.
definitely here. I can tell you that much. One called
yes,
me
yes.
Harriet Brastleton, even though I'm invited, and tried to shoot me. Thankfully, Roland was there. Was able to save me.
Yes, and I had one on the. I don't know if he was himself was an assassin, but he was asking about you and you being me, and I don't know.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, the people who are responsible for my father's death is you, and she points to Violet.
Uh-oh.
Oh yes, I who was not
So-
even alive at the time.
Well, you are the Brazelton, then are you not?
I am.
Then it is you that I must duel.
She's just like sighs like lady. You've got some anger issues.
Reika, what is with... I can understand a vendetta, I can understand persistence, and I can even understand revenge. I've dabbled myself. But why this much persistence? Why do you insist on finding duel? Is it for closure? Is it for self-satisfaction?
I will not get any sort of... And I will give your estate back, of course. Charles, I'll give you back the home. You are not the one who did
I have
this.
the purchasing money. just
What?
yes, the money that was used to buy the estate. I have it. And then
What?
and she'll pull
Right.
out the contract.
Oh,
There were some flaws.
I see.
Reika. Is this something you are not willing to let go for anything, anyone?
People died, Charles. My father died.
Will it free you? Will you free you from this pain?
If you can't let it go, you have to control it, and the only way to control it is by ending it.
Is she carrying a weapon right now?
Not that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can Hattie interject in this moment? Is that okay? So you're going to continue the cycle of violence and death by dueling Lady Brastleton, who has no experience with violence? Is that how you want to honor your father, your mother?
I'm going to need a resolve token from somebody here.
I will pay a resolve token. You wish to continue a cycle of violence, rather than being free of it. I'll give a resolve token. And if you want to get that technical, Charles is technically my brother. By blood
Fair, fair.
relation.
Yes, Rave to Chumley, technically blood of a Brazelton, still most confidently away.
How is there restitution for what wrongs have been done?
Can there ever be restitution for a lost life?
People could try, and no one has tried.
We have paid restitution to the town.
Thinks back to all of the
Yeah.
restitution payments
Yeah.
made to the town. Yeah.
We
She's not from this town.
yeah, we have paid restitution to the town, but we have not to you. What can we offer?
Charles is thinking about a line in the romance novel he read about the guy proposing at this very moment. It's like, I'll offer you my life forever and holy match. And it's like, probably bad timing. Probably bad time.
Bad idea.
Shouldn't do that right now. We're in the moment.
She thinks about it. And she says, everyone has forgotten my father. And they forgot my mother. It's as if we never existed. How can this be? That those who are rich and powerful can do whatever they wish?
Unfortunately, that has always been the way of the world, but people like us, people who have some modicum of power, we can do what we can to change it. We can make people remember.
How can you do that?
I
Yeah.
would like to evoke a rumor
Oh.
or scandal. And this is technically about Hattie, so I would like to make a proposal to you. There's a fortune that Hattie will dedicate her life to philanthropy and social uplift. But perhaps you could change the name of your charity to instead be that of Reika's father and mother, Reika's family.
I will note that fortune has not been spread, so it cannot be used.
Oh, it has
Oh.
to be spread to be used?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Can we use a resolve token
Yeah.
instead?
On
Yes.
well, I was gonna say on the other side,
Mhm.
flip of that coin, can I use the fortune that Hattie will lose
Yes.
everything?
Yes, you
Because this is what she's dedicated
Yes.
at this point in her
Mhm.
life to.
can. Yes.
Oh, different interpretation. It
Yes.
doesn't involve your husband
Yes.
dying.
Yeah,
Nice.
Does
Yes.
the charity that you've started to help the people, you could
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
put it in Reika's family's name instead.
Yeah.
So that they will not be forgotten. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then Hattie will say, I several years ago I was witness to the riots in the towns over, and it was awful. So I started I have a charity, and I
Which
know
Reika's
it's
probably heard of because it's gotten quite popular.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I know it's not much, but I could rename. It could be in your family's name. In honor of them, in honor of anyone who's ever needed help, in honor of anyone who's ever been wronged.
It's also so poetic because you were the baby who was baby swapped that caused all of this to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We could add the other victims as trustees to the organization so their names could be remembered as well.
Absolutely. We are building a new orphanage in one of the towns. We could have a memorial wall if that is something we would like to do.
I would also like one built in Calcutta.
Of
an
course.
orphanage.
We'll do it. Absolutely.
But you can see we are trying.
Trying
We've
to
learned-
mend the ways of our predecessors, trying to be better.
While the sins of the child should not be the sins of the father, it's our duty to make them right. Or
Right.
other
To be
way
better
around.
than they were.
And I
Mhm.
take that fortune. Hattie would lose everything. I take it.
Okay.
Now to kill Leslie.
Don't take my husband. No.
I don't
I'm
think he's old
kidding.
enough.
I like Leslie.
Yeah, he's
I
not
will
old
note
enough
He's not. He's not.
I will note that Leslie's outside making sure that nobody gets in here to
Yes, thank
bother
you, Leslie. Yes,
He's at the door.
Such a
and
good husband.
Miss Brown and the lawyer are doing other work at the
Yes,
moment.
they are.
Yes,
Yes, they are.
They're like,
Samuel
"Clear
is
an
passed out on-
escape route."
Samuel's passed out on a couch somewhere.
Yes, I mean, I'm just gonna note that that charity woman, she knows things. Like people have been keeping tabs. Is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she
Hattie's
nods.
totally clueless.
Mhm.
That's to keep you safe.
Yeah.
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 And she nods. She goes, "All right, that's fair. I did not think that anyone of this space would even do such a thing. So yes. Yes.
All right.
Charles,
She's so confused. It's such a whirlwind of a night.
It has been.
why did you lie to me?
Kelly's
I've
just
read
gonna
this
face
book.
palm a little bit. Like,
Because he's a moron in love.
Sister, I read this book. It
Which
was a
one?
very titillating book, and it had some good advice in it. I thought. Long story short, yes, my sister is correct.
Wait.
I'm a bit of a moron.
Wait. Are you speaking about the novel where the young man dresses as a pirate and falls in love with another pirate who's a lady dressed as a pirate?
With the two love triangles, a fake inheritance, and
Yes.
the yes, that's the one.
It was the Jewel of the Sea?
Either that or that might be the sequel. I can't.
Oh yes, the sequel.
It kind of blurs together.
Yes. Do you remember when the lady dressed as a pirate challenged the villain to a duel?
oh my god, they both got ideas from the same book.
You know, now that you mention, I do remember that part. Though the saucy bit came right after, so I just kind of skimmed until I got to.
Yes. I never knew there was never the third book, and we were right at that cliffhanger after the second, and it was very disappointing.
I'd like to make a resolve token to have Roland be the author of the books. Only if it makes sense to you, Roland, but I think it'd be hilarious.
This is exactly the message I just sent Trooper in private.
Oh my god, is
It's
it
just
really?
what he DM'd me.
Oh, really?
It's just
Oh,
what he
wait,
DM'd me. You accept
Yeah.
that resolve token.
Yes, I accept it. And Roland has been taking a couple steps back because
And I'll be looking at him like, why is he? You know this
I
plot.
never got royalties for these books. It's just like something that he did to pay like
Yep.
rent wherever
Yep.
he was.
Uh-huh.
Probably under a
And-
fake name.
Yeah, and most of them,
It's like,
you know,
shit, I
they-
never did write that third book. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and he just realizes that
Now you have inspiration for the third book.
you Scum of the Sea.
Yes, Scum of the Sea was the first one, yes.
Oh, I
Did you
love
also
that.
read it?
About that.
Are you Lord Brazelton?
Oh yes, I'm terribly sorry. This is actually
Yes,
my
I-
husband Charles got me on the whole
But-
fake Mr. Chumley thing.
Oh,
I am
He's an
also
actor.
B.J. Edwards, the author
What?
of the book.
You are not. You're B.J. Edwards?
Oh, you're gonna be BJ like Richards or something.
Oh, B.J. Richards would have been
Yes,
so much
yes,
better.
B.J.
Yeah,
Richards.
Yeah.
You're B.J. Richards? You wrote The Scum of the Sea?
And you never told me.
Oh, me. But that does explain why you have every book ever written by B.J. Edwards on the shelf.
What can I say? I'm voracious.
Richards, yes.
What happened? What happens in book 3? Why? You know, I patterned my life to get romance and revenge from the Scum of the Sea, and
From this. Shit, how did they call them? The dime. No, because that happened
the
later.
Penny Dreadfuls. Oh, those
The
are
Penny
later.
Dreadfuls, but that's later,
That's
right?
later.
That's
Well-
like in 50 years.
I think because these are like broadsides. I think you can still call it. Yes.
Well, a lot of things happened that made me unable to write the rest. And he just looks at Violet.
Oh,
Well,
they started in the 1830s. We're like 10 years too early.
so
Okay.
you're just a little early. So I feel
Yep.
like you're just like an early one.
You're
Yes.
gonna
yes.
start
Progenitor.
the Penny Dreadfuls.
Yes.
Ahead of your time.
I might have had a stint in the Thames.
Oh, well,
Oh, that's when you faked your death. First time.
I listen. These I greatly appreciate that you both, though it's kind of strange for you, Charles, because one of those books is clearly about you.
Can I get you to sign my copy?
Yes, I actually think, if you don't mind, I think part of the restitution would be that you write the third book.
You know what?
You make that happen.
Your name, my lady.
Rekha.
I don't think we were properly introduced.
I'm so sorry. I'm
Yes.
Rekha Chandra.
Roland Brazelton.
Miss. Don't. I'm not old money.
No, he used to be a French actor, and then we fell in love.
Oh.
And also a writer and other stuff. But
Look, let's not talk about the other
Miss-
stuff.
Miss Chadra, if you want tomorrow, come to our house and tell me everything about your parents. And you know what? I will make people remember them.
All right.
Like by
Charles.
putting them in a smut novel, but like
It's her
Yeah.
favorite smut
But
novel.
it's her favorite smut author, so you know.
I would
Charles.
like to pull my sister aside for a moment.
Yes, while we're having Fangy
Which
fangirl
one?
moments. Yeah.
Oh,
that's true. Yeah.
Hattie.
Yeah.
As much as we're technically biological related,
Yeah,
I consider
yes.
Hattie my true sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hattie, where'd you get that? Did you bring some for me?
I just nicked it from the table as we came in. I'm so, would you like some? You're more than welcome.
No, I'll get my own. But Hattie, and I reach into my jacket pocket or my vest pocket, whatever's timely appropriate, and I pull out a sheaf of documents I brought with me that I took from my father's cave inside his house.
Mm-hmm.
Hattie, I've done some reading, and I hand her the papers. Our father may have been preparing for the worst. And if you open them, you'll find documents, IDs, passports, letters of recommendation, it's a whole setup for a new identity.
And that's a resolve token, and you can have it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a question with that. Is it for just me, or is it for like me, my husband, and my kids too? Would he have been doing this towards the end?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question.
Because
I spent a
technically,
resolve token, but it is our dad, who's probably only mostly concerned about you.
yeah,
Well,
Well-
maybe the sons, because
Yes.
because
Oh,
they're
that's true.
technically royalty.
So
Yeah.
maybe everyone but Leslie?
Well, the thing is, the question is when he would have written it, because he got that threatening note saying,
Mm-hmm.
now I know, you were trying to hide her, now I know, which means that if he did all that after he got the note,
Yeah.
he would, if it were early, it wouldn't have been Leslie and the kids because he wouldn't have known about them.
Mhm.
Right.
After the threatening note, then he would have, right?
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
I could see him
Okay,
making
s-
it afterwards.
So a whole
Yeah.
a whole slew.
He
of
was dying.
documents.
Yeah. I
I don't want you to leave, but if it's between you staying safe with your family and staying here and fearing every day of your life, I mean that's hardly called a life now, is it?
Yes, it's really not. And considering she like pauses and looks down for a second. Also, happy news in all of this insanity. I'm with child again. So
Really?
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Hattie.
thank you. I wish it was under better circumstances.
Yes.
I think I would have to, of course, discuss with Leslie, but I think leaving is probably the best idea.
Besides, you always told me you wish you could just
Run away.
take off for a while, leave everything to me. I think there's a
Yeah.
fortune about it even.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Besides, I also have plenty of work to do for what our parents have done.
Yes,
You've done enough, sister. Go enjoy
will-
your life.
I will make up the documents to correct the charities, and I think Leslie and the boys and I will be leaving.
Well, look, I sees Jennifer looking unhappy.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's pouting. All of this. This is not
Yeah.
what she came back to Barton's Mill for. Yes.
Hattie sees this and she's like, it's more than likely that we're going to the Americas. You never have been there. And your father does have documents for you.
She can't. She's grounded forever.
But she can be grounded in the Americas.
I
And it would give you
suppose.
an excuse to come see us.
Well, I could always visit.
You could. For extended periods of time. I've heard that New York is quite exciting.
I'll consider it.
Of course.
Charles, we should probably discuss business.
Yes. Also, is there still a party going on out there?
I imagine so. If they're assassins, and there's a secret passageway,
Yes, there's a way
Perchance-
out.
oh, all right. Perchance you might not want to leave through the front door, Hattie?
I
Yes,
can
that's-
guide you. I'll tell it.
Why don't
Thank
I go
you,
get Leslie
dearest.
for you?
Yes, and during all of this, I'd like to reiterate that the inspector has been here.
Yes.
So.
I imagine he's just been like
Like,
just
taking
sitting in a
notes?
corner.
Yeah.
Maybe not taking written notes, but
Yeah.
making mental notes. Like
yeah.
everything is making sense now.
much
Because he was
sense,
always
yeah.
so obsessed.
Mhm.
He's like, there's a piece missing, and now he knows what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I should make sure the party will go well. Charles.
I should get changed.
Yes, you.
Come on.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
I can have a lady's maid bring you upstairs.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, Charles.
Yes, Rika.
If you remember chapter 17 from the Scum of the Sea,
Was that the caged tiger?
duel. No, it
Oh.
was the duel between the pirates.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Well, we should discuss that.
You're not going
Later.
to duel my father without me, are you? I may
Yes,
stand
I
in his
certainly-
place.
No, not with this one.
Should just
How old is Jennifer again?
14.
14.
2 years from coming
Roll
of
on.
age.
Yeah, Roland will just look at Jennifer and be like, they're talking another type of duel that you're too young to understand.
Oh, I think Anselm told me about it. Yes. No.
Let me go and make sure the party will be all right. And she sort of nods, and she.
And then she'll turn like a sconce, and the door
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
open. All right, Auntie Harriet,
I will
let's
go with
go.
Rika, at least to go tell
Yeah.
Leslie to escort his beloved wife and out through the
And I
secret
imagine there's
passage.
probably like some interesting tension between Leslie and Lord Jills, perhaps, right? As
Yeah. Because
as-
like as the high sheriff, he probably tried to budge his way in there.
Yes, he
and
did.
Leslie's like, nah, fam.
We don't do that thing where we open the door and Leslie's just standing there motionlessly, then falls over. With
Oh,
No.
That would be
okay,
a
okay.
result token.
he's too young.
You're like,
he's
no,
not
I say no to
55.
that.
No.
He's
no.
not
No.
55.
He's too young.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm sure Jills wanted to get in there, and I'm sure there was like a bit of an issue between the two of them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Leslie will be like, if you'll excuse me, I'm speaking with my wife, Lord Jills. And like just like come in and shut the door.
I will take the post by the door to make sure Lord Jills doesn't get in. So, how's hunting today?
And I probably get swept upstairs by some ladies'
Yes.
maids. Yes.
And I think Rake is probably like, oh, Lord Jills, I think this is my dance. And so I think she'll try to pull you out into the dance.
Yeah.
As Leslie comes in and goes, darling, what is going on?
It's a very long story. Basically, and she'll like go into the whole. She'll tell him everything.
You can tell him on the way, Uncle Leslie. We should get going.
Yes. We need to go back to the boys and start packing some things. How do you feel about the Americas?
Don't they have terrible accents there?
They do, but
This
there are
time it actually is
pockets.
very similar.
It would be,
Yeah.
depending
They'd
on
be
which
the same.
part.
Yeah,
Right,
pretty much.
I'm sure we can find pockets of. I do have several friends from France who are there now,
Yes.
and
I heard they had terrible bread there
yes,
as well.
yes. But considering that who I am and who the boys are, it's
Oh, yes, I see.
probably for the best.
Of course. As they sort of, you walk down through this dark tunnel with Jennifer.
Mhm. That my not father lived in for years, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't have money anymore. He had to stay.
Yeah.
Roland,
Mhm.
is there anything you want to do before we close this novel chapter?
Ooh. Do assassins still suspect me?
I imagine there's going to be some interesting things going on, hey?
Okay. That's fine. It's good that they don't suspect Hattie right now. That gives Hattie a window to leave. So I don't think I have anything I want to do as... Oh. No, I didn't want to click that. As Violet. Jenny's gonna lead them out and then come back to the party.
Yeah.
To make sure that nothing untoward happens, and to visit with Samuel and be like, why are you a Chumley?
oh. I hope
Technically, in 2
years.
years, she might be adopted as a Brazelton, so it wouldn't be an issue.
Ta-da!
Ah.
Mhm, mhm.
It's weird like that.
It's, yeah.
All right, then, if that is so, if you do not mind, I feel like we should go into the next phase.
Yes. Would we like to take our
Absolutely.
break here?
Yes. I think we
Okay.
should take our break, and when we come back, we'll do reputations.
Oh, how wonderful.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm,
So we will
yes.
be back in about 10 minutes with our
Yes.
break.
Yes.
So stay tuned. Hello, and we're back to it. Thank you for waiting during our break.
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. We had the big epic excitement,
Mhm.
and we have to go on to the reputation phase. As a matter of fact, I will note
Mhm.
that neither one of our gents have done their monologue token yet.
Oh, that's true.
Before we go in here, I do need to ask some obvious questions.
Uh-huh.
Did anybody have a pivotal moment?
Ooh.
Was this a pivotal moment for anyone?
I say so.
Please tell me what your pivotal moment is, and then give me a fortune.
Pivotal moment is coming clean, effectively. Like enough games, enough
Yeah.
basing my life off romance novels.
Yeah.
It's time to be a little more genuine.
Okay. What is the fortune you would like? What is the fortune that may come to pass because of this?
You know what? Even though it's about not going with the book, I think making the fortune book themed would be nice. So we'll say Charles Way will get his happily ever after.
Oh.
Please take a fortune token. Anyone else? Pivotal moment?
Did Hattie not have a pivotal moment
'Cause I
during
feel
all
like,
of that?
you know.
I don't think so, because I think she was kind of expecting this. You know, the moment she got that letter, she knew that like things would be very different. So I don't think
I don't know. You're getting a bunch of like fake ID and maybe going to the Americas.
yeah.
That feels like a pivotal moment.
That
I
does
don't
feel
know.
like a pivotal moment. Moving
just
the
feels like-
country, fleeing the country.
That's fair, I guess. That's fair. Okay.
It feels like it.
I don't know what that was.
Claiming
what
new
that would-
identities, starting a new life. Yeah.
What
Take a fortune token.
Yes, fortune token. The fortune will be Hattie, and I can't take a fortune token because I have 4.
Oh, you're full up.
I'm
Take
full
one
up.
anyway. Make a note.
Okay. Hattie and her family will live
Die in a boat crash.
No,
Her
live
boat will sink and it'll.
Oh no, not sinking a
No,
boat. Oh, what?
live a
Whoa.
prosperous life in the Americas.
Mhm, mhm.
It's gonna be a good one.
Hey, I mean, you could just go like wild. You know what I mean?
Eye on the end game.
Nice. Okay. Did anyone else have a pivotal moment? You two.
I don't think Violet did. No.
Not tonight.
Okay. And so, Hello, Dire Bear GM. Let us do. I would like, if you do not mind, to ask for a monologue from Charles from that last moment. As you
sure.
have your daughter going off to take your sister into the catacombs, the secret passages, and the passionate tag, which you used, by the way, was helpful with Reka, right? Because it was like you had to get to that passion, right?
Mhm.
And the book helped, right? That sort of gave a sort of a context to it. And she sort of gave the indication that perhaps all was not lost after all. So I would like a monologue token, like out of here, Charles's monologue.
This is probably right before he actually exits the room. He's about to walk pretty much headfirst into Lord Jill's, and he's watching as Leslie, his daughter, his sister, are all absconding through the secret tunnel. People are leaving, dispersing from this heated moment, and he's just kind of, for a moment, he's alone in the room with his hand on the doorknob, and he stops. So, new beginnings. Things have taken a turn from where I thought they were going. Though if they were going where I thought they were, we'd be on chapter 21 by now.
That was a good chapter.
He looks up, almost questioningly. Is this what's all about, Dad? Guessing and hoping until something works? Praying, pleading with fate that it all turns out all right? I can't control her, that's for sure. But I'll be here if she needs me. Just as I believe you were here because you felt I needed you. In your own way. Climbing through the walls, I'm hoping I can be by my daughter's side in a more public manner. Roland, good friend that he is, keeps getting into trouble. I'm going to have to make it up to him, the poor bastard. And Hattie, I haven't been separate from Hattie since, well, since we were kids, I believe. It'll be sad to see her go for so long. Leslie will take good care of her, though. And Violet, in another life, in another house, I think I would have just as much fun tormenting her as I did to Hattie. She is an amazing person. And I'm happy that Roland found her. And Jenny. Ugh, what am I going to do about her? I can't go around her. She's not going to listen to me. You know what? I'm going to go do something easier. He steps out to face Lord Giles.
And so, with that, we shall open our reputation phase.
Oh boy.
I would like to begin with Charles.
Charles.
Charles, as
Charles.
Roland called you. Charles. Yes, let us, if you do not mind, let us see how your reputation went. You are, after all, new money.
Yes, I am new money, and I'm not logged onto the Roll20, so one moment. I forgot about that.
You gain a positive reputation tag if you act in service of duty or morality in a way that compromises your desires, or you act in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so, or you secure a personal invitation from someone of a higher social status than you.
Definitely the first one. Morality being stopping the charade of this weird romance novel I'm following and being truthful and like, hey, I've been a moron. The second one, acting in obedience in society's conventions despite considerable hardship doing so. I'm not sure if that fully applies.
Okay.
Maybe, but I can't think of it a moment that jumps out that screams at.
Yeah.
and secured a personal invitation from someone of higher social status than yourself. I mean, Reika has my house.
She's gonna give it back.
Yeah, but technically, while she has it, is she have
Jenny's
higher,
gonna make sure of
higher
it.
social status than me? So that might
Yes.
apply. But one of those does apply, so I will take
Yeah.
I will gain a positive tag.
I do think it is true that your, you were like, you could have lost her. You could have lost her by coming clean, and so
Mhm.
absolutely, I think so.
No.
What tag? What positive tag do you get from this?
Honest.
Very
Come
straightforward.
clean.
Yeah, let's go with honest. It's a very simple but like very
Mhm.
direct word.
Mm-hmm. And if you wish, you get to have a new positive condition.
Yeah, I'll just get my right hand man back.
Absolutely. How about negative?
Negative.
You get a negative tag. Mhm.
Acted
If-
in contravention of society's conventions. I danced with Leslie. Does that count?
No, there was a bit of chaos, I think.
Gotcha.
Right. There was a bit of chaos, and so it was sort of like a I think if you dance with Leslie in a bold and exciting way, then yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I had a chance to and I didn't.
I know.
I could have stolen him away from you, sister.
Possible.
Let's see. Not perhaps, but I don't think anything outlandish like I usually do to just
Yeah,
outright
like you
slap
usually
society in
do.
the face. Yeah,
Yeah.
you usually won. Acted on a desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality.
Did you get one for lying all over the place and setting up a bunch of shenanigans?
Was that
Fake
this
Mr.
cycle?
Chumley.
If that, I think that happened this cycle, so that would apply to this, I believe. Yes. So, yeah, just
Mhm.
this cockamamie scheme.
Yes.
Acted in an
Yes.
uncouth, low class, or vulgar manner.
No, I don't.
Not
think so.
directly. So yeah, again, negative tag as well.
Mhm.
Scheming.
Oh,
That's a good one.
yeah, that is a good one. Speaking of scheming, your partner in crime, Roland.
What? I have done nothing wrong.
Oh, nothing at all.
Did you, in
You're
this,
great tonight, friend.
at this party, act in service of duty and morality in a way that compromised your desires?
Nope, I did not.
Did you act in obedience of society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so?
No, I
No.
positively went against it.
Yeah. Mhm. Did you secure a personal invitation from someone of higher social status than yourself?
Ooh.
No.
Not as
There's really-
Roland.
No,
No.
because not as Roland. Yeah, no, because I'm a lord now. So it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
even though Roland doesn't see himself as.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay, well then let me check on those negative tags. Did you act in contravention of society's conventions?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you act on desire in a way that compromised your duty and morality?
This time I could actually say no because murdering that guy was my duty and my
Yes.
responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Actually, let me rephrase that. Stabbing that guy in the crotch was my duty
Yes.
and responsibility.
Yes. You know what? You could think about this as you might say that you get a positive tag out of that. That you acted in obedience to society's conventions in murdering him.
Oh, despite hardship in
Considerable
doing so.
hardship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
Y-
killed
Yeah.
the guy, it looks bad. Yeah. But you were
No, that's true.
defending me,
Okay,
so,
if-
yeah.
Yeah, if looking bad is a hardship now, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In this society,
Oh,
like-
yes, it is.
this is not like a little looking bad. You know what I mean? Like this is a slightly
Oh, someone else died at the hands of Roland.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just tallying up bodies.
Give me a positive tag for that one.
Oh.
Devoted husband. Because you've murdered people in my name
Yep.
twice now.
No, I think, yeah. It has to be, it was positive, right?
Yes.
Correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Positive. Yeah. Devoted husband is great.
And what's the negative one for being a big old liar and impersonating Mr. Chumley?
Two-faced actor. Many faces.
Duplicitous.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something along those lines. something like I like Two-Faced, but it's not quite
yeah.
that because
Mm-hmm.
because every time Roland has lied, it always was like some outlandish thing that
Yes.
involved like
So hard.
costumes and stuff.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think at this point it could be
Diva?
that just no, but like back when they probably would think that I had a mental problem. Because I keep pretending to be other people. Clearly I should be locked up.
But you're an actor.
yeah.
Yes,
Being
but
an
I'm
actor
not-
gives you some leeway, or having the
Yeah,
history
no,
of an
that's
actor.
true.
Not
Yeah.
that they think that's good, because they don't
No.
really like actors, but
No. Always takes it a step too far.
yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes. That is excellent.
Takes
That
it
is
too
excellent.
far.
Speaking about taking things a step too far. See, I'm trying to do a really good Lindy transition thing. I'm working on it. You know what I mean?
Oh no! Don't do it.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
The classic Lindy.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
So sorry
Lindy,
for everyone. Yes.
you take things too far.
I do.
Did you take things too far this time around?
Oh, let's see. Let's look.
yeah.
Peerage. Gain a positive tag if you acted in the service or duty of morality in a way that compromised your desires. No, I don't believe so. Acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so. No? Made a sacrifice or denied your desires to uphold the superiority of your rank.
No.
No.
Nil positive. What about your negatives?
Acted in contravention of society's conventions. Jenny did. Violet, though.
Yeah.
Jenny's free to act wild and crazy because she doesn't have tags.
That's what connection characters are there for.
Yeah. No?
Okay.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Acted on a desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality. No, because it was I was loyal to Hattie and trying to yeah. Allowed others of lesser rank to talk down to you or treat you as an inferior. I don't think anyone spoke to me that way.
Did Old Man Chumley?
No, he just said, "Speak up! I can't hear you."
Okay. All right. Fair.
Does the assassin count?
Because then I was like, "There's assassins." He was like, "What?"
Yes. Fair. All right. No positive or negative.
No tags. No tags at all.
Speaking of not getting tagged, who did not get tagged tonight with a knife or murder?
No, I was just that was me who was almost shot.
Yeah.
How about our Hattie?
Yes. So peerage, positive tags. Acted in the service of duty or morality in a way that compromised your desires. No. Acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so. I don't think so. Made a sacrifice or denied your desires to uphold the superiority of your rank. I'm going to say yes on that one because I'm a secret princess and I was letting my friend take the fall for that and I did not want to do that.
Yes. I think that is good. I think that's good.
Okay.
So tell me how I agree with you. So tell me how you what tag you get for that.
Regal.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I think that's
say
good.
not regal incognito.
Yeah.
Regal incognito. Okay. Negative.
Yes. Negative. Acted in contravention of society's conventions. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Nothing comes to mind. Acted on desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality. I did tell the assassin that I was Harriet.
You also are giving up all of your stuff.
Yeah, and also you were very
true.
Unruly, so he didn't quite fully believe you.
That's true.
I mean, I feel
I
like
would
giving
say-
up on yourself is like that's a duty that you have that you are giving up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then allowed others of lesser rank to talk down to you or treat you as an inferior. I don't think so.
Okay.
Hey, look at us, no
so-
tag gals.
She gets a negative.
Oh, a one tag.
Got a positive and a negative.
Yes.
Okay, just kidding. I zoned out for a second.
So right
And
now-
that'll put me at 3 for both of them. So I'm just gonna keep my familial guidance and my bad example.
Okay.
My negative tag. Self-sacrificing.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a good negative tag. That's a very good negative tag. I like it. I believe that is all 4 of us, which means we must do the passage of time.
Oh,
Yes. The first thing we must do is decide how much time will pass between this moment and the next time we return to check in with our people. We can choose anywhere between 4 and 10 years.
My votes, since this is the last cycle, go big or go home. Let's do 10 years.
Yes.
Yes, I'm down for that.
Simon, yes.
Yes, I have to wrestle a cat, but yes.
We will go forward through the passage of time.
Oh, let's
10
change all our
years.
ages.
Yes.
Now I'm
Well,
38. Oh, man.
42.
Oh, you only have
Oh
about
my
another
goodness.
decade left before
Yeah.
you're in the danger zone.
I'm
46. We're gonna
Oh
have to
no,
move away.
my
Yeah.
lady's maid is
46.
57 now.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
She might get murdered.
she's in danger.
Jennifer is 24.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. So now we must, at this moment, each choose a scene and a vignette that covers this passage of time. And you may have a weather interlude, a scene or vignette about a rumor coming true, including a changing fortune. And the changing fortune does not have to be spread for it to come true. A scene or vignette about your character's inner conflict. Or you may pay a resolve token to a scene or vignette about something else of your choice. Any first choices?
I'll go. I've got one.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, tell me again. So we can do like based off of fortune?
Yes. You can
Okay.
have a scene or vignette about that fortune coming true.
Okay.
Or
You get one scene and one vignette.
mhm.
Okay. I will do a scene with can I do a fortune that hasn't been spread or faded yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
I will do a scene then with the fortune for Hattie and her family will have a prosperous life in the Americas. And
Good call.
so
Good call.
it's a very nice crisp fall afternoon in somewhere in like Northeast America. I don't know exactly where because I don't know the geography of that time or what's what. So
Basically, all the states that are there now are pretty much they were just
Okay.
colonies. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, it's probably something like Massachusetts, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is a good
Possibly
place.
Boston if you wanted a big
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, Boston or maybe like the suburbs of Boston,
Mhm.
just like one of the affluent areas
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yes.
Yes, Cambridge, perfect.
Because Harvard's still there.
Yeah. And that is right, Harvard. That gives me an idea. So you see an older Hattie and Leslie in a park, just like a wide open like greenery kind of area. And they are sitting on a picnic blanket. I apparently like my picnic scenes.
Yes.
They're sitting on a picnic blanket, and you see the twins, Samuel and Oscar. They are now about 20 years old, maybe a little bit younger. Maybe it's like 18, 19, something in that area.
Yeah.
And they are running around the field, kind of like a little bit like maniacs, chasing around a little like 8, 9, 10-year-old girl.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, which is Hattie and Leslie's daughter,
Yeah.
and her name is Charlotte.
Nice.
And they just, it's a very nice day. They've got Leslie pulls out like this, like I don't know if thermoses were a thing at that time,
Maybe
but
a decanter of some sort.
yeah, like a decanter, like of just like a hot cider kind of thing, that they packed in their basket, and he's, getting, food out and drinks out for everybody, and it's just a very nice autumn day, and they seem happy.
I have some follow-up questions.
Okay.
I just want to know, what she did, because you said that thing about Harvard. Now I want to know. All right, I'll wait. Have patience. Who's next?
Simon.
Muted on the Zoom and not the mic.
There you go. Do we have another kid?
I mean, would you want that?
Are you
I'm
able to, after being stabbed and all that business you had going on?
I got stabbed. I had one kid. The question is, did we have another? I don't think we'd have more than one more.
Did you die in childbirth?
See, these are questions.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured when Roland came back from his stint in the military,
Yes.
Mhm.
there was probably a lot of "thank God I'm alive" sex.
Okay, sure. Do we want to see if it's a girl or a boy? Do we want to roll for it?
Sure. I have D10 here.
Okay. What's the Witcher rules? Isn't it like odds? Boys
It's even or odds, yeah. So even a girl, odd a. Oddly enough, haha, it's also a Witcher die.
Oh, that's so funny.
6. We got
So
a baby girl.
We got a girl.
Oh,
Oh.
there will
Okay.
be someone to inherit.
There will be. Okay. All right. So cool. Yes. All right. So I think this would be a vignette, perhaps, of Roland coming back. It's like a montage. It's like Roland leaves.
Yeah.
Roland comes back. Little Justinian's a little bit older. And then you see, do I murder her in child? I don't think so.
You can do whatever you want.
I considered it. I thought about it, but I'm not. No, I don't die in childbirth. I rolled for it. So, but you see, little baby Iris, because the ladies of the Brazelton family are named after flowers. So little Iris Brazelton is born, and it's just a happy time in the Brazelton estate. Everyone's alive, mostly well.
Are you sad?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Lindy?
No.
Oh,
Violet.
Violet. I don't think she's particularly sad. No.
Her best friend is gone.
They exchange letters.
Okay.
To Hattie's new name. Oh, definitely exchanges letters. And
right.
imagine I mentioned the end of the vignette is actually her writing a letter to whatever Hattie's new name is and sending it to the Americas. Her pen pal.
Victoria is her new name.
Oh yes, Victoria, her good friend Victoria in the Americas.
Yes.
Love it.
Wow, not too on the nose.
Absolutely on the nose, and I love it. Next.
I can go
Yes, please.
because I was technically part of that vignette.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
indeed.
So Roland came back from the war.
It wasn't a war.
Service.
It was just you.
Service.
Service. You're mostly just dealing
service.
with really angry poor people who are rioting because they.
We were just murdering people that wanted to have better work conditions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
And due to friendly fire, Roland lost an eye.
Oh no. He used to wear a dashing eye patch now. I mean, it's just so sad. Yeah.
It's sad, right? But that made him sort of finally shift into using his talents to help the common man.
Wow.
So we have funds.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to dilapidate them. But he fought in mid 1820s.
Mhm.
He's part of the people, the aristocracy who helped put an end to the Combination Act,
Nice.
which allowed unions to exist once again.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's awesome.
And he did like probably a couple of things like that, mostly as Lord Roland Brazelton. But then on the side, he would like sometimes slum it with the peasants and just help them. Like he doesn't have military training to give them, even though he was trained militarily. He does not want the same revolts to happen again because he saw what they were. But like to help them, put words out or to, speak eloquently. See, that Simon can do.
Nice.
Eloquently. But also, to have like that whole disguise and spying on your political rivals and whatnot, except at a lower level than the House of Lords. And just like stuff like that. Like he's not become radical, but definitely even in his writing, which he took up after the promise he made to the Miss Chadra, there is definitely a current of like fucking common sense.
May I ask you a question for your montage?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing the scenes. Like I'm seeing you like
for beautiful
talking to
vignettes. Yes.
Yeah, like talking to the people. Do you actually get into the House of Lords?
I think we'll leave that for maybe after the time skip, but so far he hasn't, because the problem is no one's gonna want him there. Like he's been blocked every time by something. And so he would rather have everything rise from grassroots, from the bottom to the top. Because lords can always be guillotined.
I love this. Charles.
And
Yeah. Just a simple vignette. He's back in his estate. He's at the desk, mounds of work around him, running a nonprofit and a for-profit at the same time is strenuous at best. Hanging on the wall is a lovely painted portrait of his daughter Jennifer as an adult. However, there's a large sword slash mark through the upper part of it when she got impatient from staying still for too often. And he remembers suddenly that, oh right, the new the ribbon cutting, the opening of the new orphanage named after Reka's parents is officially today. It's going to open. And he looks at the amount of work he has to do. And he just kind of like sighs and gets back to work. And then he remembers like how often his father wasn't around because he was busy working, busy doing stuff to keep everything running.
Yeah.
And that thought about like, do I really want to do the same thing I always held, the same things that I held against my own father when I was growing up, or when for the people who wanted me in their lives more. So he suddenly just puts down the pen, stands up, grabs his coat, and rushes out the door.
And since it's a vignette, where does he go?
Oh, to the grand opening as one of the people there who's there to support the Betterment Society, the giving back to the community, to the people who may or may not be there.
Yeah.
Ooh, vague.
Nice. Everyone gets a second one. Weather interlude. Vignette about.
Like how we all vignetted for our first round. I don't think it's ever been that consistent. Yeah.
Vignette about a rumor coming true, about your inner conflict, or a token for whatever topic you like. How old are all the children? I need to know. But when we get to the end of this.
Oh.
Jenny is 24.
Oh, I gotta
and
update.
Samuel's
I
25.
gotta update my
Yeah.
baby. My little lad.
Mhm, mhm.
My boys are 20 and my daughter is 10, but
Nice.
she's not on the connections list.
We'll just have to add her.
I'd like to pay a resolve token to have
Please?
Oh, Justinian's 10. We should arrange a marriage. Be fine.
You've been betrothed from birth.
Yes.
I like it that when Charles and Jenny come to visit the Americas to see his sister, Charles has sent Samuel ahead of them to lay the groundwork for a sister nonprofit across the ocean, and I like to pay resolve tokens so I can see the awkwardness between my daughter and my adopted son.
Absolutely.
And however that's resolved in the story.
Mm-hmm. 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 That has been given. Jennifer, Samuel.
Hmm.
Do I need to give one to each of them, or
No.
Okay.
It doesn't harm them, so you just put it out in the universe.
Yep.
You two meet again. You're both in your mid-20s.
Oh,
Probably
goodness.
I'm stepping off the boat with our luggage. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see Victoria. Victoria?
Yes.
Yes.
Aunt
And
Victoria.
yes, and Victoria. If you could go, there should be someone here from our sister company to help get us ready for tomorrow's
So you're
work.
just
if you
standing
like.
there with a sign. Like
Yeah. Oh, there they are. Can you go ahead and get that stuff arranged? And I will meet me at Aunt Victoria's place.
and like wait, like it's like wait a second, isn't that Samuel? And you're like gone. And she's just like oh, okay. Slings a little bag over her shoulder. And then we'll walk down. Samuel, it has been a while. How are you? Besides very quiet.
I mean, I'm good. Good. Oh, Miss Jennifer.
Good. Good, that is good. I did not know you would be here.
I didn't know you would be here either. What brings you here?
We are visiting my Aunt Victoria.
Oh, I guess she's also my aunt now.
Yeah, something like that.
And like in his mind, Samuel is just like, why did you say that?
And then,
Why
she'll-
did you
she'll-
remind her?
she goes, well, I mean, technically, she's not technically my aunt. I just still call her my aunt because that's what I grew up calling her with.
Oh, no, I know. Just like I'm not, blood related to you or anything. Not that it
Yes.
would matter.
No,
But-
no, I mean, well, I turned 16 and Iris hadn't been born yet, so I'm technically Jennifer Brasselton now. I have definitely abdicated the title, though. I do not want that responsibility. Ugh.
I can understand. I think part of the responsibility was to go to me. I think. It's been a while. And
I
Well-
guess that doesn't make us not siblings, because I'm a Brasselton now.
no, and I'm just the poor son of a shoemaker
Yes.
who was adopted by your da.
Yes, my father. Who I am. This is complicated, and I don't like it.
You want to go for a picnic?
Yes.
And because he's been in Barton Mills for a long
I'm gonna
time.
change the
we
name
take-
on her sheet to Brasselton because
So-
it was established that she'd be adopted if there wasn't an heir by the time she was 16. There wasn't a baby Iris yet, so
Our families are complicated.
it's very complicated. But I feel like maybe the rift between them has been mended,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which
Did
means
that?
long-term goal achieved. Ah!
So nice. We have a few more. Who is next?
Shit, what's my long-term goal?
I know, right?
I'll go next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do so the vignette it has to be about something specific.
No, you already had
Either-
a vignette because it was just like a quick little,
Yeah.
like a scene
Okay.
or a weather interlude, something a little more in
You
depth.
can have a scene about a rumor coming true, a scene about your character's inner conflict, or a
Mhm.
weather interlude, or a scene about whatever you want. But you have to pay a fortune token, a resolve token for the whatever you
Mhm.
want.
I'll do a resolve token for the whatever I want then because I wanna do something. So it is some random day in the year. It's probably early spring or late spring, early summer, something like that. And we see a very prestigious college. And it's
You would-
middle of the day.
Let me just check one thing about our dates.
Yes.
I think if Hattie's going to go to college,
So I was looking at it earlier, and I don't think she can attend, but she can be employed by them.
but I need to just check because a little bit too early. The very first women's college in the United States is Mount Holyoke, and that is founded in 1837.
Yeah. But
so
with
just wait like a couple more years.
with Harvard specifically, though, it does say they employed as early as the 1800s. They employed women for various jobs, one of
Nice.
which being librarians. So if there was a camera, it kind of like has like a courtyard view, and then it sinks down and goes into the front doors of a wide, massive, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Harvard's libraries, but they're kind of freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And there's a like a reference desk kind of thing, and you see Harriet standing behind it, going through a card catalog, trying to find a book for a student that's standing there in front of her, asking her questions, things like that. And would they have had name tags? I don't think they would have had name
No.
tags,
No.
would they? Yeah.
Because you would need one.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't need one. You hear the student call her Miss Astor, Astor.
Nice.
Which, yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Nice.
So her name is Victoria Astor, and that's her family name now.
Mhm.
And it's she gets the book, finds the card, and then leaves the desk and goes to the stacks and gets the book and brings it back to the student, and they have a conversation about the materials and stuff. And then a little bit later in the day, you see coming down the aisles an older looking Leslie. He's now 48, I believe.
He's getting close, but he's not in Barton's
Yeah.
Mill anymore, so he
No,
should be safe.
no, he's not. We're in the Americas. It should be fine. He's 48. He's starting to gray a little bit at the temples.
Ooh,
Mhm.
mhm.
He's got his cane still.
Yeah, he's got his cane. And he comes and he sits at kind of like behind the desk with her.
Yeah.
And they start pouring over research documents. And Leslie's working on some kind of paper or something like that. Because, fun fact, a lot of the dissertations that were written by men in those days were, written by their wives.
Wives,
So,
yep.
yeah, written by their
Absolutely.
wives. So
Yep.
yeah, that's the scene.
Aww. That gives us Simon and Lindy.
Well, I need to check something on rumors. So, Lindy, if you want to go.
Oh, yeah, I was checking rumors too.
That's why y'all two are married in the game.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. This is going to be kind of convoluted, but
Love it. Hey, we're going for the real 19th century, which means convoluted is good. If you've the orphan princess, I'm just telling you, they get really convoluted in the 19th century. Somebody's lost uncles and all of that business.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Garden.
So it's going to be a letter for me.
Okay.
And we would see Roland just at his writing desk, penning a letter that reads, "This will be my last payment, as I believe it concludes our affair. Things have been, in the past decade, blown out of proportions to my original intent, hence the additional fee. I thank you for your hard work, your secrecy, and I hope we never have to deal with one another ever again." It is a letter. If, and that would mean probably me giving a resolve token to Hattie, I guess. Yeah. Oof. That's a letter sent to the forger who made the paper to make believe that Hattie was the actual descendant of the King of England. Because that way I would have gotten my revenge on Hattie.
Yes.
You motherfucker.
Wait,
Do you accept
what?
that resolve token?
Yeah, I fucking accept it. Absolutely.
Nice. Nice.
Thank you.
Oh,
Holy shit.
oh, I love
fair.
it. I love that. Oh, I'm gonna die. I love that.
You know, always takes it too far.
Yes, you are
Mhm.
extra, right? You are
Yep.
extra, and I love. Roland is so extra. That is the best. That is the best. Which means there was a child swap, but it wasn't the way it went. You know what I mean? Like, and that was the. Oh, I love that. I love
Mhm.
that.
And I mean, it might, for all Roland knows, maybe I got screwed over by the person I've been paying off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's actually all true, but like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He thinks he's
Yeah.
got his
Mhm.
revenge, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
You ruined my life, I ruined yours. I
love
ruined
that.
yours. You happily married with a whole family and 2 working eyes.
Yeah, she wouldn't call it ruined, but
Lindy.
Can I use a fortune that is someone else's, that involves somebody
Yes,
else? Okay.
Absolutely. It's just any rumor coming through you want.
So, I want this to be a scene
Mm-hmm.
between Charles and Violet.
Mm.
It's been some time since Hattie has left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Victoria.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I have to ask, when did you and Chandra, Areka get together? Do you get together?
That's a good.
Or have you gotten
question.
together by, like, a few years into it? A couple years into it?
I think it might be one of those like. There's so much history. You can't just like overcome all the history at once. So I think they do start out as they kind of work their way back to being
Yeah.
good friends, similar interests, similar
Yeah.
work. They get along. They go out to dinner
Yeah.
sometimes. Sometimes they stay late at each other's places. All the good stuff.
So inappropriate, but go on.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Good to
I
know.
I think at this point, probably not officially married yet, even though
Okay.
he's so old, 42.
So old.
Yeah, and she's getting old too.
Yeah. So, Violet has invited you over. I imagine this is probably while Roland was on duty at the time, so this is probably like a year or two in, probably 2 years in. Has invited Charles over to dinner, which is fine because we're siblings.
Yes,
Fine
that's fine.
society. Yes.
Mhm.
Otherwise it'd be scandalous. Having a man over while her husband's away. And she would a nice dinner. You know, young Justinian running around.
Mhm.
Violet probably, or not Violet, Jenny probably sulking off somewhere, reading books, discovering secret passages in the Braselton estate. And Violet would say, Charles, I know that I can never replace Hattie as your sister in life. you two grew up together, but I just want to know you to know that if you ever need anything, I am here for you.
Patting mouth with napkin, setting it down on an empty bowl. What brought this on?
Just stack of letters between her and Victoria. That's on the sideboard. Well, Roland has been gone for some time, and Victoria has been gone for some time, and so I thought you might be missing her presence as much as I have been.
She was my rock.
I do know that.
She always knew what to do. Had a level head.
Very much so.
And God, could she scream when she was angry.
Yes.
It's odd that we're technically siblings, though having not grown as siblings, it still feels odd at times.
I would agree, but I'm just happy that our families are no longer feuding with each other, and, we are connected in a way, so just want you to know that I'm here if you ever need anything.
Violet, even if we weren't siblings, you have been there for me and Hattie as long as we've been there for each other. True, when we came back, it was a rocky start. There were a lot of questions, a lot of tensions. I had a drinking problem. But like my drinking problem, things change.
Things certainly do change.
And I'm happy. I'm earnestly happy that you're a part of my life. I'm not sure if we can jump to siblings straight away. If Hattie's warned you, I am quite the troublemaking brother.
Oh, I've heard tales.
Apparently there's a level difference between hat fun and axe fun, so...
I would imagine so. But speaking of fun, I think you'll be happy to hear that Reka's coming over for dessert.
I'm sorry?
Reka Chandra. She's coming over for
No,
dessert.
I'm familiar. What do you mean she's coming over for dessert?
Yes. Well, I told her that you would be here this evening, and I told her that she should come over for dessert.
Violet, look, I am not in any, and I stand up and there's just like a mess on me. It's like,
Oh yes,
whatever.
that's just why I sent
Camille,
what's her name her? Camille. Abigail. Abigail. That's why I sent Abigail to your estate to pick up some new clothes. Also, I just reach, I walk up, I go over to the sideboard, and I open a drawer, reach in, open something else. Charles, the town is starting to talk. You and Reka's late nights hanging out. It's a bit, untoward. But I am here tonight as a chaperone who is totally willing to give you free space, and here's a ring. So, you kids have fun. And I want to invoke the fortune. Charles Way will get his happily ever after.
But before that happens, I'd like to protest a little bit more in character.
Oh, yes.
Violet.
Yes.
First of all, grade A sister work. You are meddling to the nth degree. Secondly,
Thank you.
me and Reka have a good thing going. We're comfortable.
Yes,
We're happy.
and it will continue to go for years to come.
And then the doorbell rings. Ding, ding.
Yes.
They'll knock her.
It's about time, really. I've spoken to each of you. I know how you feel about each other. You should just make it happen. Trust me, as someone who's had their own difficulties getting to be with the one that they've loved, just make it happen. You don't know if it's going to be too late.
I had a plan. I was going to talk with Roland. We were going to recreate chapter 34 of Ships on the Shore.
As delightful
I even had the
as
saber
first-
custom made.
As I know that it's sitting in the living room,
What?
the parlor. Yes. Roland couldn't be here to see it, unfortunately, but we all know how well your first reenactments of the first chapters went, so I'm just helping out a little bit. Oh, let me get the door. You should probably be in the parlor.
I will grab you before you head out, and thank you.
Of course.
What size hat do you wear?
skeptical look, but we'll tell you the hat size.
Noted. I'm plotting for Christmas already.
And I will go answer the door, and I'm sure it's a darling scene. The parlor has been decorated in a way.
Ship theme?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes.
I believe that will be the end of our episode for today. We'll have some upkeep to do, which we will do.
Which also fulfills my short-term goal of getting 2 people together. Matchmaking and
Really?
married. Yes.
Wow, that works very well together. Yeah.
I suppose let me just ask
Yes.
on screen so everyone can hear it.
Sorry.
Has
Just a goal
anyone
achiever.
has anyone achieved their short or long-term goals? If so, could
Both.
you reveal them to the world?
Yes, I'll reveal mine while people look at their goals. I'm gonna throw them back out there. So let's see which one this is. Flip card. Oh yes, my short-term desire. Orchestrate at least one marriage between people of your choosing.
Nice, like it. And what was
Done.
your long-term?
My long-term goal is reunite the feuding families through marriage or inheritance. And Jenny was adopted via the Brazelton family because there was no baby girl by the time she turned 16, and so she's technically able to be in line even if Jenny doesn't want it. She's in the family line. Should anything happen to Iris, one of doing.
And maybe Jenny and Samuel get married too. I'm just saying.
It's entirely possible. Yep.
I believe Simon, I think Roland got one of his
I got
desires.
both, actually.
Nice.
Read them.
Look at us.
Oh, no, wait. Yes. One of them is impossible to complete, which
get
was to
placed.
reform Anselm.
Oh,
Find a way.
sorry.
Well, find a way to remove them from the family affair. So
well, you did that.
He's well, you know.
I've
usually
never
did that.
did any. I didn't do anything, but it happened.
It happened.
It did.
Absolutely.
And of course, the other was take revenge on your rival for stealing what you love.
Ooh,
Wow.
Nice.
what a twist.
And
So-
you separated them. Very nice.
Just for breaking me up with Charles years ago.
Nice.
Damn, Roland
That
holds a
is so
grudge.
Gotta respect that. Yeah,
Gotta respect that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Absolutely.
Oh.
How's my family's reputation at this point?
At this point, I
Would we
would
say
say it's
it's-
actually quite good.
Well,
Right.
then in that case,
Because you've done all
I-
this, like you've made the restitution, you've done all this work to actually make the orphanages, right? Like I feel like there's quite a bit. And if some of the rumors are to be believed, we really can't say, but rumor has it that actually you might be a princess. I feel like that family name has been, and then Charles has been doing such a good job. You know, I mean, a little bit of scandalousness here and there, but I feel like there's been a large amount of reform.
Okay, then in that case, my long-term goal is complete. Oh, nope, that's not it. I didn't really do anything to Roland in the end of the campaign, so I can't do my short term. But
Not yet, I suppose.
yeah. So restore your family name and resume your place in society.
Just a different society.
Exactly.
Just
exactly.
across the pond.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Charles, have you resolved any of your short
I-
or long-term desires?
It's odd. I think technically I failed both of them.
Oh,
Though this
no.
is failure. It's pretty good happy ending for a failure.
Yeah.
But my short-term desire is enter into a marriage with someone who truly loves you without revealing your hidden wealth. Which
Oh, so
that's
that's why
I
you had the convoluted
cockamamie
Yes.
scene, yeah.
Yes.
Which I thought would be fun and humorous. So technically
Yes.
she knows
Yes.
now, and we got
Yes.
married, but she knew before
Yes.
she married me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a failure.
Mhm.
Secondly, I think I just misread this one a long time ago. But once again, I'm kind of happy how things ended up. But my long-term goal, protect your child from all ill and secure their future. I could not protect them.
Mhm.
However, I would like
Yes, you
I
did.
would like to think I secured a future
Yes.
for
Mhm.
them.
Multiple
Absolutely.
futures for
Absolutely.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Oh,
So technically I think they both failed.
no, I think you succeeded in the last one, and you still got married in the first one, is what I would say. I'm like, you were able to hide
Two
your-
partial successes.
two partial successes.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
yeah. Now we have a little other upkeep stuff to do, but we'll do that at a different moment. And I believe welcome in, Raiders.
Oh, we are just ending.
When we come back next week for the final episode, we will have probably one half of a cycle where we will, everybody, I like to not do that. I like to have the people go off to think about their upkeep so that they can think like, what do I want to spend my fortune tokens and all of that, so they get some time to think about it. Because the fortune tokens will allow you to change the backgrounds of connection characters or yourself. Like, and I imagine there's gonna be quite a lot that you want to do with those fortune tokens. So I will let you all stew on that. And then we'll get our last bit of epistolary to set us up for 1831. And our last moment to see how our people are going to be doing in that last cycle. And that is our penultimate, the merry-go-round.
Woohoo! Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. Let's go around. Let's say who we are, where we can find you, and favorite moments from tonight's game. Is there a question you wish to everyone to answer?
Yes. The question is, we have our letters, which we're gonna get these letters coming in,
yes.
which will set us up for the future. But my question is, which connection character do you imagine? What do you pick one connection character and tell me what you imagine they're doing in these 10 years? That's my question.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Since Simon's gone, we're gonna pick him first. Just kidding. We're gonna go in other order. Charles Way. Yutsai, how are you? How's
Hello.
tonight?
Apparently I'm a little gassy. Hello, I'm doing great tonight. Such a fun story, so many twists and reveals and happy endings.
I love that.
Hello, I'm Yutsai. You can find me on the internet sometimes. I am in a stream, Hill Country Horror, tomorrow at a time that I can never quite remember because I have to show up early, so it's put in wrong in my calendar. But I believe it's around 8:30ish on the Wandering DM channel. So hopefully Simon can tell you more about it because I am bad with details. I'm also going to be part of a oh goodness, was that actually announced yet? Yes, it was. I'm going to be part of the Initiative Order's Vampire the Masquerade show, The Old Town, which takes place in Boston, where I play a university student who has to steal for money, and I play Tremere, who views magic as not really like a cool thing, but like so you're telling me I can use blood instead of a lockpick. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds a lot more convenient.
Nice.
So yeah. Oh, and for is it a connection character I control or a connection character?
Anyone.
Any connection character. Yeah. And Selm is rotting in his grave. No. I'd like to imagine that. Hattie's kids, Samuel and Oscar, are growing up, and as they're growing up in the Americas, Hattie sees like little bits of both Charles and Jenny in them, like mischievous ways. Perhaps Samuel's a little more dramatic and picking up that maybe Roland when if he ever comes to visit, might like prompt his entry into the arts or something. Oh, Hattie, an actor for a son, wouldn't that be something? But yeah, just kind of like they're growing up nicely. It's kind of the cycle continues from father to daughter, daughter to son, and so on and so forth.
I love that.
Wonderful, wonderful. One else who's wonderful is Nugatosaurus. Hattie, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I am Nugatosaurus. I play Harriet or Altringham or Victoria Astor, as her name now is. And I have to give like major friggin' props to Simon at the end there with the hey, you're not actually the king's heir. That's just my revenge. That was
so
mwah,
good.
I love it. It was so good. So stinking good.
Yeah.
As for my connection character, it's about 5 years after those events, and we're in the woods and we see Lord.
I knew it was going to be Lord Chills based on how you were holding your hand. I knew it.
Yes. Because he's the best.
He's the best. It's Lord Jills, and he's on one of his infamous hunts, and something goes horribly wrong.
No.
One of those prisoners, somehow, where they were running, they managed to find a pitchfork.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah. And they turned it on him and just, they didn't actually get the sporks through the pitchfork. They got the handle through his heart. kind of thing.
Like a
And-
steak.
Yeah, like a
vampire.
steak, like a vampire steak. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of rumors after that about,
Was
who
Lord
he
Jill's a
was,
vampire?
how
Yeah.
he died. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But our dear Lord Jills is now dead.
Violet's just super happy for some reason. It's just
So
weird.
happy.
Oh.
We did have rumors about her being a vampire, maybe. Oh, yes.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Oh.
You can find me here on Mondays playing in our Mondays in Exandria, the new batch, our D&D campaigns set in Critical Role's Exandria. You can find me here on Tuesday nights being the Gate Master for our brand new Stargate campaign that premiered last night. We'll have another episode next week, and then we're going to go on a break for a little bit, and then we will continue when we come back. You can find me here, obviously, on Wednesdays. And then finally, you can also find me here on the occasional Saturdays when we play Aliens. This is the only channel I play on, so if you're looking for me, I'm probably here. But yeah, I'm very excited to see, kind of what happens in our final episode next week.
Me too. Someone who I bet is dying to find out what happens to the final episode next week would be Simon, Wandering DM. How are you tonight?
Hello. Hi. I'm good. Well, aside from that. Hi everyone, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. I'll get that spiel off out of the way first. Tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Wandering DM channel, we start the second half of our run of my headset died and now I can't hear. No, I can still
I can
hear.
hear you.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
No, the
maybe.
mic worked, but my thing did a beep in my ear. Anyway, so 8:30 p.m. Eastern, second half of our run of Hill Country Horror, which is a quietist horror game led by Marvel Bogwitch that Yutsai is actually in. And then on Saturday afternoon, we are not playing Scion this week. We're coming back next week for the basically what would be our season finale if we did seasons. And then next Monday, 8:30 p.m., we continue our vampiric adventures in Montreal by night. And here on Wednesday for the finale.
I know.
And then the thing, what was it? The thing that I loved today?
Yeah.
The absolute battery of revelations back to back during the dance. Like,
The dance was amazing.
what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
That was very, very interesting.
I do love a danger dance. You know what I mean? Who doesn't love a danger dance?
Who doesn't? Maybe
Yeah,
those
I-
people who do the safety dance. I hear they don't have hats.
No, they don't. Look at their hands.
And you had another question though.
Pick a
That
connection
was-
character and tell what you think they're doing in this 10-year skip.
A connection character. Oh, you mean those of mine that aren't dead?
You've got Samuel, and you've got
Mm-hmm.
somebody
The inspector?
else. The inspector.
The inspector. Samuel had a vignette, had a scene, but not Inspector Gridley.
Mm-hmm.
Did we age Inspector Gridley? Is he actually at 55? Or is he now at 65?
Oh no, he's
Oh.
getting dangerously.
No,
old. Oh,
no,
man.
55 is right. That's his.
Okay.
I aged him up.
Oh, okay.
good.
So then in that case,
He's not yet at the point of death.
He has to
no,
be
but Inspector
1 year
Next
older.
year.
Yeah. So Inspector Gridley, after all the things that happened in Barton Mills, is starting to maybe believe the rumor a bit. And he's thinking maybe he should be, moved to another jurisdiction
Mm.
where people above 55 years old are not going to die.
Mhm.
I think over the years, like his zeal to get to roll on
Yeah.
kind of attenuated a bit. I
Yeah.
mean, there was the thing about like there was a murderer, and Roland actually did something good for once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Bless you.
thank you. So yeah, he's thinking that with everything that happened, like unless something in the finale warrants for him to stay,
Mhm.
he's thinking of just closing the case and going back to London.
Nice.
There are those caves with all those bodies in them.
There are those caves with those bodies.
Well, yeah, there's all of that, but there's also the fact that like the Barton Mills curse seems to be a thing that does exist.
Yeah, that
Surely he
to
has
happen.
one more case before he retires.
Just one more kiss before I retire. You got to finish that kiss before you're 56, because if you don't,
Yeah.
So-
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, last but certainly not least, aside from me, our facilitator for this evening, Trooper SJP. How was tonight for you?
Oh, excellent. Look, I love a danger dance. Do you know what I mean? That's what I love. I love a danger dance. And I love that moment when like they're about ready to be pulled apart, and Hattie's like, "I'm with child," and he's like, "What?" And then I pulled apart. Like I just loved all of those moments, and I appreciate so much every person here around the table, the virtual table, playing so well. Really, just everybody just rolling with all the punches and throwing more punches, and then all of a sudden stabbing people with a scalpel. Like it was excellent. I loved how all yes, I cannot wait for the very final episode. I'm sad for it, but I'm also really excited to see how all these folks sort of like come to this final moment in their spaces and what their kids will be doing, because that's where the sequel happens, right? Where we've got all these kids, and those kids are the next generation. So that was really exciting. You can find me. What is today? Wednesday. Tomorrow, actually, you can find Lindy and I.
Yep.
Playing Mark Delaware in a
God,
visual
Mark.
novel. Oh, Mark, he all into No Wisdom. At 7 p.m. over at my channel. 6 p.m. over at my channel. 7 p.m. on my channel on Friday, I'll be doing a 2-shot of Tunnels and Trolls. It's part of my Let's Play RPGs from the first decade of the hobby, from 74 to 84 moment. And that's going to be a pretty cool thing. So come and hang out there. And then Sunday night at around 8 will be Witcher Road's Home, where I'm playing a person who's maybe not that nice. And, that is a thing. And I feel like I want to sort of say something that happens with a, in that with a connection character. And you know who it's going to be?
Who's it going to be?
Don't ask like that, but you really should, because it's on you. It's Abigail. And
no, she turned up a 55. I knew it.
Abigail Bird, your lady's maid, who's been here all along from the beginning.
Yep.
And you just see her, doing her job.
She's 57, yeah.
57. You see her doing her job in the house, making sure everything's fine. And then, she just has to kind of go and do a little bit of work. And you see her just leaving Barden's Mill, and she's like in the house, and then she just goes and she walks up to the pantry, then she sort of hits a thing, and that little door opens up, and she goes down and across and over to where the mines are.
Oh, I was gonna use the mines.
And she just makes sure that all the bodies where they need to be, and she just nods, and then she goes back. Oh, you can still use the mines, by the way.
Good, wonderful, perfect.
Oh, absolutely. She just wanted to make sure that everything, she's been here longer than everybody. She just wants to make sure that everything is where they need to be.
She could die any second now.
Any second. That is me.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
What about you?
And that just leaves me. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna answer the question first, since I was gonna use the mines. My connection character that I think would be most interesting is Jennifer.
Oh, absolutely.
Jenny now Brazelton. From matters of, family, melding, inheritance, blah, 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 etc. Could have 2 girls in the family just in case, even though Jenny was like, I don't want to be a noble, there's so much responsibility. See, Jenny learned a lot of things from Anselm. She also learned a lot of things from Grandpapa Chumley.
She did.
Including The
Where to hide
best
bodies?
place to hide the bodies.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
think after Abigail, you see Abigail leave after checking the bodies. You see Jenny
His chest checks.
like exhale and drag a fresh one out through. Goes, I have to find a different shaft, I guess, and just drags off.
What are you doing to my daughter?
Serial
Hey.
killer now?
Hey, Charles is letting go. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not going for control. And sometimes when you let things go, then
Apparently-
maybe,
Apparently that was a mistake.
this is why you've been inner conflict.
Moral
And
of the story, kids: be super controlling your children and become murderers.
Or maybe just give them a bit more guidance. Because I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Maybe don't control them, but maybe like pay attention to who they're hanging out with. But yeah, I think that's what Jenny does. And who is that, you might ask? Oh, someone who is probably a threat to her family.
Yeah,
The
probably.
Brazeltons,
Yeah.
the Ways.
Yeah.
Now Miss Reka Way or Chandra, I don't know if she took the name or not, but it's someone who was giving them a hard time. That
Yeah.
didn't do that anymore.
I have a question though. Were they over 65? 56.
Of course.
Okay, good. That's
Yes.
important.
Yes. Of course. Or they were over the age of 55. Yeah.
That's important.
That's what Jenny. That's just a little short scene of Jenny. She's learned a lot from two very sketchy people, and also knows about the mind tunnels. Weird. Who
I wonder who told her.
knows? I wonder who told her. It was probably Grandpapa Chumley.
It was Papa Chumley.
Yep. But yeah, so and then love for tonight. I loved the danger dancing. I loved the pretending to be Mr. Chumley. That was very entertaining.
So good.
And also just all of the chaos and confusion of just everything. Gunshot going off, getting stabbed in the femoral artery, and just
Blood everywhere.
red handkerchiefs, and we're like, oh no. It was very dramatic. I was here for all of it. It was very exciting. And but then the mostly peaceful resolution of the families that have gone through so much, finding healing, and it was just very nice. And then, as far as where you can find us here on Laugh Love Lindy channel on Mondays, as basically what everything Nagatosaurus said, because Nagatosaurus is in all of the games I have here. But in case you didn't catch it the first time, Mondays in Exandria, the new batch on Mondays for D&D, where we fought a very handsy, armsy beast, an amalgamation, I believe we called it. It was arms, it was terrible. But we killed it, thus ending the temporary horrorness that was going on. And on Tuesday, you can find us for our next episode, episode 2 of our Stargate game that Nagatosaurus GMs, and it's super awesome and very cool. And then, of course, here next Wednesday for the finale of Upon the Hexhamshire Moors, which I would be very sad to see it go, but I'm also very excited to see how it all ends up. So thank you all so much for hanging out and for watching. Until next time, have fun and play games.